have an intro.
There we go. Hello. Welcome to Crimes Against Roleplay with
Yeah.
Nicholas and Sonalar.
Hello. It is I. I'm here today because there's been a crime. We need to investigate it. You know, we gotta take it to the bureau.
Bureau of Roleplay Investigations.
Exactly. That's where I am right
That,
now. So
yeah.
people are busy. That's why I don't see people walking behind me, but they're working.
You have to go to work during a holiday, so everybody's off work. But a crime happens anyways. It's like, oh man,
Exactly.
I have to actually investigate this. What's going on?
Justice can't sleep.
No, we never sleep.
Yeah.
All right. So
So yeah, man.
I got this
It's
one right
actually
here.
a continued investigation, right? We're not opening a case right now.
No, the case, it's been open and shut in a way. There
Cold
has been,
case.
yeah, it's a cold case. It's been 4 hours of investigating. Detective Crispy opened it up, and we got Mr. Max and Tyler go in here to see what exactly is going on with your seat at the table and his video about game master responsibilities. Now, as we can see, I did show up at the end to replace Crispy since, you know, he has two jobs, he has double duties, so he had to leave. And I had nothing better to do but talk about role playing. Pretty much. And we got in that video to about 22 minutes. So, yeah, it just didn't sit right with me, Nicholas. Like, how can we call it an open and shut case if we don't give him the full video, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, he has the right um to defend himself.
Yeah.
To be fair, I guess just we're joking here, but like this is not about him. It's about what he's saying. To be fair, like this is
Yeah.
not an ad hominem attack. Just to be clear, um, I'll let you take lead the conversation. But yeah,
Yeah. So unofficial follow up to tearing off our skin. But instead of tearing off our skin, we look for crimes of role playing, crimes against role play. Uh, because I thought that might be catchy enough for a
yeah,
YouTube video. that's
you,
that's
you,
that's all it is.
yeah, you need abbreviations, right? Like toys,
Yeah,
car,
tunic.
tuning. Yeah, they're good. They're good.
Yeah.
I like them.
So I want to go to a point I've asked
Yeah.
after the session and after I had a 12-hour sleep and woke up in the middle of the night, not
Hmm.
ignoring the sun all day. I've uh, I've gone to Discord to ask like what are their takeaways. So I want to bring them up to set the table of what we've agreed on last 4 hours to
Mm-hmm.
help new viewers catch up. If they start this stream, they don't have to watch another 4 hours. Otherwise, they're like, oh, I'm not gonna watch another 4 hours. What's going on? I'm out. They clink
Yeah.
out. So here we go. I like the way Flame Zombie wrote it down. His key takeaways were the game master is absolutely important. They have enough to run without controlling the player characters.
Hmm.
Then design isn't by committee, which is a fear
That was a
expressed by
big
your
one
seat.
when I was
Yeah.
watching. Yeah.
You just want to make sure that everyone at the table is on the same page.
Hmm.
And long session 0 can be good, but make sure you're not over designing and prepping for stuff you probably won't ever get to, and that your players aren't interested in.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole point of over designing your dungeons, over prepping your adventure. Oh, I have a whole campaign set up, and the players want to go visit a different country in the
Mm-hmm.
universe.
Yeah. Also, you guys talked about it. Just to refresh as well, player agency is different from character agency because he did bring that up as a strong point of his video in the first part.
Yeah,
Like, oh, so the player, can do anything. Like, why did Jimmy's there? Like, he was mixing both, and it's very different. You as a character being able to do what you want, and the world reacting accordingly. So, two different things: player agency and let's say character agency. Just to clarify it.
yes, and at the point where we start in his video, it's gonna bring it up too.
Oh,
Like
okay.
so it's gonna be a great entry, like to get back into the skin. We are trying to understand where he's coming from, because most likely he isn't the only guy that thinks this way. I can see that many role players come to these questions and conclusions, and it's up. You know, it's what is this talk show about role playing games? That's it's what we do.
Yeah.
So we're gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
I was also thinking like a key takeaway for me, like what is it that you want from a game master?
Mm.
The responsibility. Uh, I wrote down a couple of them. I want the game master to adjudicate the rules. Uh, this is the which I think I did bring up. It's about telling. You're most likely the guy most invested, and probably
Mm-hmm.
have the rule book. It's the rarity where a player has the rule book, and he's looking for a game master that is willing to read the rules
Mm-hmm.
and do all of the
Yeah. No,
work, and they
that
just want
doesn't
to
happen.
play.
That is a myth.
Yes, that's a unicorn, is what we call
Yeah.
that. I've read all the rules. I know everything. I just,
I just need
don't want
someone.
to
Yeah.
game as. I just need
Yeah.
somebody else to run it for me.
Yeah. At that point, you might as well, run yourself.
Yeah. So it's not exactly the role for of the game master, but it fits the shoe. It fits.
Mm-hmm.
It fits
Yeah.
best.
Because at the end of no, yeah, sure. The game master, the GM, you are the guy. Like you call the shots when it comes to rulings and stuff. So that is big part of your responsibility. But like your guy said, it's role playing the world. Like the
Yeah,
dragon, the NPCs, because I cannot do that.
exactly. Uh, yeah, I wrote down some notes from the stream because, man, in 4 hours maybe I can do a video that's more short.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, yeah, one of them is I want the players to act. Players are protagonists. Let them protag.
Mm.
Encourage proactivity from players. It's like a game master. It's never written anywhere like, oh, encourage proactivity.
Mm-hmm.
That's like not really in the rule book. But I see it's the subversive that I see so often. It's like the punishing an active player turns them to become a passive player. Every time you shut down an idea, when the player
Mm-hmm.
is looking for the telephone, and he say, "What telephone? There's no telephone."
It's a slap on the wrist.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, "Oh, okay." And the next time it's the player's turn, they say, "Is
Is
there
there?
a telephone?" And it's a couple of times. It's not too bad, but it's the habits. When you think,
Yeah,
"Oh man,
but
I have to." I had a vision, and the
I would
player intrudes
even
on my vision, so I'm shutting it down. It's like
I would
okay,
say there is even a culture of that's how you spot a experienced player. Like, oh, he asks lots of questions. Like he's experienced. He asks for
yeah,
traps. He asks if there's like wire hanging. He asks if there's a. I would even say that because I've seen like videos where they comment that like, oh yeah, ask a lot of questions. Like, you know.
lots of
So.
questions are good to not fall into the trap of the game master, but then it's still a trap from the game master. And I think that is bad. That is bad for role playing. It slows down the game, and
Mm-hmm.
it limits the variety of what can happen in the scene. Because
Yeah.
we are in the game master's world, and what we want is the players to have the player agency, right? Like that can be our foundation of how we start this video, and see where he is going into to talk about
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
All right. With that, anything left to say before we hop in? Gonna switch
I'm good.
over.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you need to.
Yes. All
There
right.
you go.
Gonna jump back a couple of seconds just to make sure that there's some overlap from last time, so we can catch up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think we can do it like this.
Total player agency. I think at the end of the day, majority of you, if you even think about any of this, other than aside from the occasional crazy conversation on YouTube,
Yeah, which is us.
Yeah.
It's, can you
It's fine.
hear the video? Fine.
I
How does it
can,
sound?
but his video is low. Like that. That's. I think there's nothing you can do there.
Yeah, it sounds low for me too.
But
I
like
th-
I can understand. It's fine. It's
okay,
audible.
good.
at the end of the day, you fall somewhere in between the level 2 and level 3 of role play. And so the longer you play, the more you get into something, the more you want to invest in it. It's like player agency, and I think that player agency is a
Like, yeah, 2 dimension, 3 dimension. We talked about that at the
Mm-hmm.
end. So the tracks are gonna go past that. If
Yeah.
you're interested, that was covered in the
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the
No,
show.
I
It's
think. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and it's linked in the description. So if you're interested, click the
Yeah. I was gonna
link.
say. I think all of the channels have like an introduction to what is the or the hard way. So we're good on that.
Yes.
term that's getting tossed around way too much these days, and not
Player agency.
necessarily it's being used as a catch-all for a lot of things it really shouldn't be. So, does player agency really have anything to do with game agency of the story agency? What do you mean? What do I mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
We want you to be as a game master from decades, 5 decades. As a game master, have played literally 70, 80, what, 80%, 85% of my freaking life. I've been a game master, a dungeon master. You name the damn thing. I've been that, whatever the game.
I think this is really. I mean, we have to mention it, right? Because that
Okay.
was
The elephant.
yeah, the elephant. He brought it up a couple of times before,
Five
and this
times.
time, yeah. Now, like the longer the video goes on, the more he hammers on this point. I wanted to hear his difference of game player agency and game
Yeah.
agency, and
Because
story agency.
I just by the name, I don't really get what he's trying to say, and I did watch it
Yes.
before.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So
the time thing, I think it's like Shunner used to say, and you guys mentioned it. Like you're doing for 50 years, but you still do the same way. Or Shunner
yes,
used the artist example, like, oh, like I've been making art for 12 years, and
it's
you
still a
get your
stick figure.
yeah, it's still like Christian scribbles, Like, okay, fine, you're doing for a long time, but you're not really improving or trying to. So I get that. Yeah, most things in life, the longer you do, you naturally improve at it, and I'm sure he doesn't play exactly the same way he played when he was like 8 or something, like he said earlier in the video. Of course, like he got better, but overall, the graph of improvement is like it plateaued at like one point and didn't change, and I'm very confident in saying that because that's how everyone does it. That's how I did it as well.
Yeah, I would agree that this is normal to plateau.
Yeah,
You reach a natural point of understanding, and to break that, you turn on your critical mind. You
exactly.
review the footage. You talk with your friends after the game session. Man, did you actually like that fight? It felt the same like the last 10. It's like
Yeah,
goblins again. Like,
yeah.
what are we
Same
doing here?
tactics. The goblins don't use tactics. Yeah,
Yes.
just throw themselves at the players.
Yeah, at some point the player stops and asks himself, why
Hmm.
are the bandits attacking us to their last breath? Don't they aren't
Hmm.
they like interested in value? Maybe they want to, negotiate a bit.
Yeah,
Like, let's try that. Let's try
especially
negotiate for our
because like you
lives.
steamroll them every time, so they would be wary.
Yeah, that's the fun part. I mean, it's interesting if you fight bandits and one of you dies and the other guy's like, I
Yeah,
surrender. Now I feel like I'm back at the seat of the table, you
exactly.
know?
Something is happening. This is not a video
Yeah.
game anymore. But yeah, I don't think he should stop doing the 50 years thing. I don't think it looks good.
Yes.
It looks like you're trying to validate yourself without any proof of. It's like the art thing. I can say, oh, I've been drawing for 20 years, but if I don't have the art to back it up, it's kind of like I'm just trying to look big, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. I had this talk with Tyler off screen. I think it's fine if I say it because it's nothing, big. We
Hmm.
had some more time to talk. It's definitely like we don't plan to make these videos to target uh,
Yeah,
uh, somebody and insult them. That is not the goal. It's about like, well, so what
it's
is
your
the game
your
master?
takes,
You
man.
made a video called Game
Yeah,
Master Responsibility. I need to know what you mean. You bring up player agency. I want to understand what you mean. He brings up, oh, people like conflate all of these ideas. It's like, which ideas? Describe them to me, so I can understand what you refer to. It could be true, it could be a lie, but as long as he explains them, we can work from that.
yeah. Jonah, I think he talks what he means by
Yeah,
world agency. I
yeah,
think he said
yeah.
story
Let's
agency.
let him talk. Okay.
Yeah.
Called it, that was me, because nobody else wanted to do it. They didn't want to buy the books. They didn't want to put the time in to read the books. They didn't want to try to understand things. They didn't have the creativity to really go out on a limb on stuff, or they didn't want to, or they just didn't want to spend the time. Is that agency? Is that the player agency you really want? See, there's a difference. There's a difference here. So, players' agency, in my perspective, is as a game master, it's not my
Okay, before we go into what he wants, his argument, that's a straw man, no? The player agency is you just don't want to buy the books and read them.
I don't see. It could be like, sorry, Brazilian monkey brain, but I don't see the correlation of like I don't get the point. What does like I don't want to buy the books relates to player agency?
Yes, I see absolutely no relations between those 2 points. And he is making the point that's what people talk about. So
Okay, yeah. But I just don't think I understand. I'm just lost. Uh,
yeah, I mean, to me that is nonsense. That's exactly what I hear. It's a man telling desperately, I've been stuck doing the same thing for 50 years because nobody else wants to do it. I've been,
Mm.
I've been put in jail, and I'm the one holding the keys. We are playing in prison again.
Wanna play a little bit more? Let's see if it explains more what he
Yeah.
means by that.
Sorry.
Agency, in my perspective, is as a game master, it's not my job to tell anybody at the table what their characters are going to do or how they're going to do it. Rule number
Okay.
one, that is
Yeah,
player agency. Allowing the players to play. Allow them to play their character, to role play the character. Good, bad,
Yeah, I
Oh, I
don't, I
or
see.
don't.
indifferent. It's their role. Don't ever, ever, ever try to supersede that. That's the key.
I
Okay.
agree with
So
them.
yeah, so then we are in agreement,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, exactly. You should not. Yeah, you should not. What it is intervene? I think is the word he said. You should allow the player to be his character, to be
Yes,
their
allow
character, and
allow them to play the character and do what they
Oh.
want to do as their character.
I think my camera feed died.
Oh yeah, your camera that it bugged out.
Oh no!
Is
Let me see.
the computer still working?
It is. OBS crashed.
That's no bueno.
Oh yeah, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You're still here.
I'm reopening here again. Don't worry, it's fine.
Okay. If absolutely necessary, we can do it with just your voice.
I can do it without OBS. I think that will work.
Yeah.
There you go. The illusion is broken.
How could you take my player agency away by breaking the illusion? Oh, nice. There you go.
OBS-less, but working.
Yeah, it picks up my sound a bit in the background, but I think it's not very noticeable.
I put the echo cancellation and background cancellation.
Okay. So let's continue. So with this part of the video about player agency, we agree. This is what we I can agree with this. The player has the freedom to play their character, to role. That is part of the role play for sure.
Yeah, great point.
And all of the other, yeah.
Key corner, the key point of player agency, in my opinion. Second part of player agency is kind of a little more dodgy in my mind, because this is where the players also have part of that social contract that they've agreed to take up a certain level of responsibility as the players. If you want the players to be involved in the campaign, the players have to be willing to be involved in the campaign. Come on, how many games have you played?
Yes.
To be what in the campaign?
I feel like, yeah, so he wants the player responsibilities, also like taking responsibility to be a part of the story that's happening.
Oh, to be a part of. Okay, so
So
he's talking about
that's
player
how.
involvement.
Yeah, and he's gonna give an example now, so we can see his example to see if it aligns with what I'm thinking.
Okay.
Campaign. Come on, how many games have you played? How many sessions have you sat at with that one person who, for whatever reason, simply cannot engage like everybody else can? Or their idea of how they want to play is vastly different from everybody else's. Once again,
Okay.
That skill issue. It's a skill issue. But I'm gonna be honest, man. That never happened since at least since I've been doing the 4D thing, because everybody there wants to actively roleplay. So that when you want to roleplay, the taking part is automatic.
Yes, that is setting expectations and buying into them. It's why we encourage the session zero to talk with your players, because I see it like if I'm the game master, oftentimes what happens is, guys, I have this idea that I want to play out. Let's go underwater. Let's have biotrauma. And it's not just that we are in a submarine. I want to play a game that is like claustrophobic horror happening with aliens, and it's
Mm-hmm.
what it means to be stuck in a tin can under like bars of pressure that could fold you in half.
And we play into it, the premise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't see how does that. Maybe he's going to explain more. How does that connect to player agency as he speaks of?
Yeah.
Play is vastly different from everybody else's. Once again, you can choose not to sit down at that table and play. That's your prerogative. But what if it's your only table? If I didn't sit down and play with my friend Richie and in the occasion whomever came in and left and came in and left, I would have not got to play very often, if ever, at least until I was old enough to have a driver's license. It wasn't like I.
All right. Do we want me to let him finish, or?
Yeah.
Could go around town and recruit new players. We tried. It doesn't always work out well. We're talking a different era then. We didn't have social media. We didn't have YouTube and internet and Twitter and excrement and whatever else these other companies and other things. None of that existed. None of it. It wasn't until I got to go to high school that I started meeting other people who was in the hobby, and I started to understand that this hobby was much bigger than I thought even then. But for the lion's share of my youth growing up, it was actually a closed and it was a growing hobby, but it was tiny compared to the way we see today. You people really have no clue just how far that we have come and how much the hobby as a whole has advanced in those 50 years.
I again, I don't want to. I don't say that like to be cheeky or mean. I don't see the correlation of the things he's saying to the main premise of what he tried to say. I don't get how that all ties into player agency.
Yeah, this whole minute can be summed up as, back in my days, things were tough, and you guys have it easy. And so you don't understand how easy you have it nowadays with all of these advances.
Even if that's the case, like whatever, life's just that's always the case for everything.
Yes. Yeah. And like in 30 years, we are gonna be in that position of, well, it was tough when we were around.
Back in my day, I could have
the
3 meals,
Yeah. Back in my day, we could go to a restaurant. Nowadays, a McDonald's meal is basically going to a restaurant.
Yeah.
That's already happening.
Yeah, but I don't know. I want to talk more. I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about player agency, which is more interesting, because I think he's deviating. I don't know if he goes back into it right after. Let's give him the chance. Otherwise, we will go back into it.
Well, I want to mention like a point that he brings up is, we had it tough. He only had, a couple of friends in the rural area that would play a role-playing game with him. And to me, that is like, yes, sure, but you could have also played something else.
Yeah, and
why
also,
are we fixated onto this hobby? Go ahead.
And like, what do you want when you guys united to play the game? What did you want out of it? It was just, if it was just like to be together, play the game, enjoy the game, then you won. You did what you wanted. Like, I don't think. Okay, I think I'm getting what he's trying to say. I think he's trying to say that somehow we are invalidating his past experience and the good times he had with his friends because he shouldn't have, because they were not really role playing. I feel like that's how he's taking it personally. Like we're
Which would
yeah,
make
I think could be that.
I mean, that would make
But
sense. It would
well,
explain the defensive nature of the video, like pronging onto playing for 50 years, bringing that up again and again,
yeah,
talking about how hard it was back then. It's like, sure, fine. I understand. Like, I can relate to that in the different fields, Yeah, I've had it tough too. It wasn't about role
mm-hmm.
playing games, but it's not really
Understood.
relevant to the question. All it means is you've accepted players at your table that were not there to roleplay. They were like, some of them were there to roll dice, some of them were there to
Yeah,
hang out for the Saturday
laugh.
afternoon.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just have a player show up so they can drink beers, 6 beers in a row,
Mm-hmm.
and do something while they drink their beer.
So
Get
yeah, about
smashed during the game.
that's exactly what I want to say. Like, that was the objective, and you were fine with it then. So like, good, you got what you want. Why we are so emphatic on role play is because we found out that that's what we want in our games, and we know there are a lot other people who also want it, but they don't know, because before
Yes.
I really understood, oh, it's role play that I'm seeking. Like, I would like look for, like, tips to make the combat more engaging, or like mechanics to make the game more engaging, and then you have like the
How to make your players
initiative
engage
tracker.
with your world.
Yeah, and I did not realize that what was missing. So that's why we're so emphatic. And Shoner was very vocal, and he was like, tongue in cheek about attacking people's role play,
Yeah.
because yeah, people
Yeah,
say they
because
role
he,
play when
he's
they really don't.
yes, he literally see the exact same problem like 40 years ago and decided, oh man, they're not role playing. They're like having this daycare center 6 to 6
Yeah.
for adults in
But
the
if you
evenings.
don't care about that, and like you really enjoy the aspect of being together, like moving minis and drinking beer, like, great, man, then play the game the way it does it for you, because we are playing the way it does it for us, which is actually going deep on roleplay. So
Yes.
maybe, what you did, the experiences you had, the friendships you've made, the stories you have together with your friends, we're not invalidating that just because you didn't roleplay.
Yes.
You know.
So if he or like somebody else ends up watching this video, we are not trying to attack your past 50 years of experience. But if you bring it up, we have to talk about it and say, like, how is this helping you create like a good, to be a responsible game master in like today? And most of it isn't really helping, you know. Pronging on the past is not get onboarding people today.
Yeah. Let's see what else he says.
It's been a privilege to sit there and watch it grow and to develop and to turn into things I never thought it would turn into. Right? Just saying. When it comes to the game masters, I think the game master takes on a certain level of responsibility.
Hold on. I can barely hear him. Did something change, or is it getting lower every time I press? I'm gonna try something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to change my audio settings real quick. So
Could okay, yeah, do that. Yeah, it kind of feels like a cry. Like I think we might have got to why he's acting the way he is. And that's maybe what a lot of people are, like who are invalidating their 50, their 30 years of game mastering. I feel like that's how they feel,
Yeah.
even though that's not what we're saying. Because nobody's putting into question like your knowledge of, rules and your knowledge on how to best run a dungeon. Like I'm pretty sure like with 50 years, you probably have a good feeling for that,
Yeah.
what we
Yeah.
are talking about really is just about rope. That's just it. It's just role play. It's not about you. It's not about your time. It's just being character and letting players be in character and act in that world without you shutting them off, as we said before.
All right. I changed my audio settings a little bit. And we will see if
Okay.
it helps. If not, we just continue. Anyways, I guess.
by accepting a role of game master, which by
Okay.
definition grants the game
I see.
master a little bit of agency too. The game master should have the ability to alter and adapt the environment regardless whether or not player agency has any bearing on it whatsoever or not. The players may have helped design and create the world they're playing in, but are they the ones then to decide the encounters too and how the encounters are going to go and whether we should? Well, in some ways, yes. In some ways, no. In the ways, yes, they decide whether or not they're going to engage in that encounter, whether they're going to decide to fight the kobolds or not, or try to avoid them or outsmart them, or they're going to decide to whether they want to go into that dungeon in the first damn place, no matter how much work and effort you put into creating it. And if, what happens when they don't? That comes from experience. You will have that happen. And eventually you have to learn to adapt with it, or you end up throwing tantrums and not having anybody at your table for very long anyway. Then you would qualify as being a bad GM in a lot of people's eyes.
So,
Yet,
wait. Okay. So throwing the tantrum. That was which part now?
I don't know if it. Okay, I took a nap. I was sleeping before I joined you, so maybe my brain's still a bit slow. But and
So
I don't want to say
before
that's always the way
the
he
things,
talks. But I'm very lost.
the things he described up until now are things that I agree with. You have the game master. You are the one responsible for encounters. Like, okay, that's a way to see it. I describe it as the game
And that's the
master.
way it was back then as well.
Yes, that
So
was
that's
yes.
fine.
That is a very a basic understanding of the game master plans the
And the
encounters.
dungeon master.
Yes, the dungeon master. And as a game master, the players, if they cut down a tree and the tree falls over in a forest, if there's nobody there to hear it, did it even happen? And for me, as a game master, it's my responsibility that yes, somebody did hear it and it did affect the world. Something still, nothing might happen out of it, but you cut down a tree. Now you can do something with that. And as a game master, every time you act, I will react. And if the players choose not to act, then I will act upon them, until they act. Because the game is about the players at the table. We could have, World War II somewhere, but our game plays in Saudi Arabia during that time. It doesn't matter if there is World War II or not. Didn't really affect much in the country, like if you're not there to witness the war, I feel like, okay, then we lost the point of the game we are playing. What do you think?
Yeah, it cut off a little bit for me, but
it cut out.
You're saying that you can have a big thing happening, but that is a background, doesn't necessarily need to affect. Is that it?
Yeah, it's like, you have this big event happening, but then all of the players are like on the
Mhm.
other side of the world, then it doesn't matter. Like now it's not
Oh yeah.
it's a footnote now. You maybe you have it as a footnote, and that's exactly what it is. You keep it as a footnote until it's
Yeah.
either relevant or the players want to engage with it.
Yeah. Maybe the people in the docks will be talking about the war happening, but that's it.
Yeah. It's if the player decides
Yeah, but
to pick up his newspaper, it will have a footnote on the war happening.
A footnote. Yeah, it's just a footnote. But yeah, like I said, I'm having a hard time following his dialogue from now on. The first 20 minutes was like I kind of got it, but I don't really see where he's going with the World Story Agency, as he said. Because he said
Yeah,
that, and it's like, oh, what do I mean? And he didn't explain what he meant. And I still want to know what he meant.
Yeah, I want to go back 15 seconds and see if we can catch it.
And eventually you have to learn to adapt with it, or you end up throwing tantrums and not having anybody at your table.
Wait.
How much work and effort you put into creating it. And if, what happens when they don't? And that comes from experience. You will have that happen. And eventually you have to learn to adapt with it, or you end up throwing tantrums and not having anybody at your table for very long anyway. And then you would.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the point, right? The game master, you prepare, you do all of this extra work, and the players didn't know that you prepared it. They had a different plan, which they want to follow.
Oh.
And you can choose to adapt yourself as the game master to do the thing that the players wanted to do because they have player agency, as we've established.
Yeah.
He said that is a good thing. Or you
Yeah.
throw a tantrum. They say like, now go into the fucking castle that I set up for you. Every road leads to the ogre to fight because I've prepared the ogre, right?
Okay, that's
and
a
then you
session
have
zero
no players.
thing.
Yeah.
But I think we already talked about it, yeah.
Exactly. This is setting expectations, what you want to play, what you want to do. So if I set the expectations, let's play, what is it, Tyranny of Dragons? You best believe I'm a robot reading from the rule books, going from module to module, chapter by chapter. And you will not have the freedom that you wanted to like do and act as you want, because the expectation was, but I thought we are playing through this adventure. And what happens at my table is people realize, like my wife tells me that, other players tell me that, oh, the best parts is the things you invent and put on top of the adventure. That's the part
Most
I
of the
really
time.
liked.
Because it's you being reactive to the players when you do that. That's why they like it most. Because it matters. What they do matter.
Yes. What I said, what I do matters to the world. And I feel like I'm being recognized. I'm alive.
Even if it's the just a funny callback to what someone said in session 1, just like a little nudge, like a little making fun. They like that, but that's because they feel like, oh, I exist in this world. Like my actions are actually, shaping. That's why they like it, and that's what we want all our games to be. And to be fair, I feel like they are that since we've been, actually role playing and doing the 4D. We have the games
ones
out
we
there
are brave.
to prove it.
The ones we are brave enough to put on YouTube. It's
I mean, which ones we didn't put it on,
Right. Yeah. No. In our group, we put all of them on YouTube so far.
Yeah, all of them.
I
Even
also
the
have
bad
like
ones.
my local. I have local plays.
I mean, but it's hard to put a local. Have to set up a camera, a studio, pretty much. So I get that, but
and then that's like back to session 0. The expectation is we put it up on YouTube, and people will be able to see it and critique it if they wish to.
Yeah.
But and then it's up to you players. I know players, they are afraid to show themselves on the internet because it opens up an avenue of ridicule.
Yeah, but it's like Shoner said. Yeah, like 5 people, and
Yes.
and 4 of the views is yourself.
Yeah, 5 people, 4 of the views is yourself, and the 5th viewer is your friend that likes you, that wants to support
Yeah,
you. It's
so
like your mother
it's fun.
watching your YouTube video.
Exactly.
Says, "Good job, honey. I baked you banana cake. You want some?" Like, Mom, it's the YouTube comments. What are you doing here?
Super
Exactly.
Mom 82.
Okay.
Qualify as being a bad GM in a lot of people's eyes.
And they're
Yet,
right.
we want the players to be engaged. I want them players to be as much involved as possible. But yet I have to call a line. I have to call as a game master. I give you all the agency I think you're entitled to, and I think you're entitled to a lot of agency. But there's limits.
Hmm.
Your
Okay.
agency stops.
Yeah, let's talk about the limits. I want to.
He's
This is
actually
the
going to
important
get
part.
into it. Okay.
Oh my god! Finally. I mean, we are pausing all the time, so it would be faster if we didn't. But it has to
Exactly.
be
No, but he
said.
did go on a tangent.
But
He
there's
did go on a
limits. Your agency stops at that table once it starts playing, in that you don't get to just up and decide 3 sessions of the game, I don't like this player anymore, this character anymore. I'm just gonna, this character's just gonna walk off, and I'm gonna introduce a brand new character. I've had players who that's their whole thing. That was all they wanted to do, was just to create.
Okay. Have you had that before?
I have never had that experience. I don't have 50 years of game. But to be fair,
I did that myself.
I understand. I understand, like, you being tired. Like, guys, I kind of tired of this character. Like, I get that.
Yeah.
But if
That's
the player doesn't want it, doesn't want it.
Yeah, that's I mean, that is still a player agency. And I can see, so I'm gonna make his point for him, then we can hear him out to see if it's the same thing.
Okay.
Or if I made up a story, and he's actually based and
Yeah.
has something real to say. What I hear is, you have a player show up, they play this idea of a barbarian, then they play it for 3 sessions and realize all they can do is fight stuff, and everything else he
Okay.
fails at because he only has constitution and strength.
Yeah.
So you feel like so limited, like, oh my god. Like, I started with the barbarian because it was a cool idea in my head, but now I know the rules. I understand the magic. I understand what part of the world we play in. It would be so much cooler if I was a troubadour playing in the city setting, where I could interact with people and mingle. And you're like, okay, but maybe as a game master, you had everything planned out for the barbarian to be there.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And now you
So, okay, this
remove
is
him.
quote unquote straw man that we're extrapolating. We don't know if that's where he's going, but if that
Yes.
is where he's going, you should not be planning like that anyway. But let's see what he says.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to say that's what happened at my game. My wife stopped playing her
okay.
character. Like, she had an arc. She had 20 sessions. And she said, it doesn't make sense for me to continue playing. She didn't enjoy the character anymore. We removed the demon arm, replaced it with a robot arm for roleplay reasons. But she loved the demon arm as a player, and the robot arm was lame.
Okay.
So, like, the part where, right, like in the next chapter, yeah, you would have met the witch that actually did the operation, kidnapped you for the operation and everything, to sew on the demon arm. Well, she's not gonna meet him now. Meet the hack now. It's fine. Like, we move on, but that can be a pain point. Your story idea is cut short because the players decide, I'm done with this character.
But I want to see where he goes before I say anything else, though.
Okay.
I've had players who that's their whole thing. That was all they wanted to do, was just to create the next character. There's a lot of people that find that the best part of role playing in the first place, is just creating the stuff.
Yeah, that's where you have all of the control of your character before your game master mucks around with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think if that's the case, maybe you should be playing shorter sessions where the guy can like, extract all the juice from the character, and then like next session is a different thing, and he
Yeah.
can, do the same with.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
but,
We have
but yeah, I
so
think
many
what he's trying to
sessions.
say, like, go ahead.
Yeah, so many sessions. Like we played Primal 3 times. It's like I'm happy where my character is. All of the interactions I liked. I'm ready to move on. I don't need
No,
to
you,
play
you
this
gotta
character
play it for
anymore.
like 9 months now. It's still the same guy.
I'm like,
It
no.
gets that. But
Yeah.
I think it's saying like, oh, play urgency. Like the guy just in the middle of the session is like, you know what, guys, I want to create a new character. Like, if that's the case, I think that's mostly like table manners. Like, you don't disrupt the game like that. Play the guy at least until like the end of the session, and then after, guys, I'm gonna create a new character for next session. Like, we can say that my guy walked off or something, he can die. If that's what he's
Yeah.
trying to say, I get it. Like, I don't think that's player agency. That's just a matter of manners. The same way like you don't fart on the table.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that you don't have player agency because you cannot like
Yeah. You
go
show up
naked
on
and
time. You don't fart at the table. You come well fed. If you sit down for 4 hours, I had
open
something to
someone
eat
else's
before,
fridge.
or I would starve myself until after. Or I literally bring a sandwich at the table. Something like that is also a solution.
It's a
But I'm not
silent
gonna.
snack.
But I'm not gonna steal an hour of everybody's time ordering a pizza and then eating it in front of everybody.
Yeah, that's not player agency. That's like just table manners, people manners. It's just
Yeah.
a people thing, courtesy. Yeah.
Player courtesy, table manners.
And then they get bored with actually using the stuff and want to move on to creating more stuff. That can be a problem. That can be very disruptive to a campaign, to a game. But if you have a player who does that on a regular basis, you need to convince them that have a discussion with them about why they're doing that and just how much of a pain in the ass it is. 2, put them in your chair. Let them run the game for the next couple months, and see how they like it. If the shoe's on the other foot.
How do you like them
Such
apples?
a sacrifice. Yeah. The GMN is such a sacrifice. It should be put on a pedestal. Yeah. I mean, if you're like,
all of those are justified.
if you're writing like yeah. I was gonna say,
we
like,
have
if
this
you're writing
1
a
second delay.
before
That's why
each
we
game.
over each other.
Okay. I mean, we always have that. There's a whole ocean dividing us. But yeah, if you're writing a Silmarillion for every game as a GM, like you should not be doing that. That's why you get so hung up on like disrupting the game. If disrupting the game is a character doing something that you did not plan, that's not disrupting. If a player like you said, like, guys, wait, what pizza do you want? That is disrupting the game.
Yeah. Very much so. I mean, yeah, it sounds like, oh, the player, he doesn't value my time as a game master. He violates what the effort I've put in by ignoring it, by like throwing out his character and creating a new one. And I like I don't mind his approach. Like, tell them, well, how about you try it? Like, don't you understand that
it's actually good? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, this hurts my feelings. Like, okay, but it violates the time I've put in to creating this session. Maybe you should try it. That's a great idea. Just for, yeah, go ahead.
A little tangent, just a tiny little tangent, because at the Crusade Discord, I think everybody there is also a GM. Do you think that is a major factor?
Yes.
Because we all been there.
Yeah, if you're a GM, it means you are not there as a consumer. You're there to as a participant. You want to create something. Yes. You've cooked before. You're not just showing up at the restaurant to eat. You want to cook, and you want to talk to other cooks how they cook. and you want to try out different recipes. Some people they like Italian, and those Americans they like their Chicago deep frozen pizza or something, deep dish pizza. I don't know, whatever they call it. And it's like I have no idea what the deal is about, but sure, it's a different culture, different idea on how to make something that you eat, that you have to eat anyways. Nice, a nice experience.
Yeah. That is a very unflattering frame you paused that. Poor guy.
Well, I'm not in competition, so I don't have to worry about where I
No, I'm not
pause.
making fun of him.
It's
Like
fair
we all
game.
have bad frames. Like I'm
No,
not
you
attacking
are
the guy.
beautiful. I am
No,
I'm the fat guy.
Chicago deep dish is a normal Chicago pizza. I don't even know what's Chicago deep dish.
I mean, that's the specialty. Like when people say, like, "Oh yeah, oh you should try out this Chicago deep dish." That's the thing.
Oh,
That's
okay.
well, I hear on podcasts. I'm European,
The
so
Americans say. Okay.
yeah, the Americans they can set the record straight for us. I
Mhm.
can actually click the button. Nice.
Yeah.
Also, hello, Kedolo.
Yeah, man.
All right.
And some people will still like it and run with it, and then your game evolves into basically that. That's what you want your table, right? Then there's the world creation.
Hey, hold on. Was this sounding like
This
he's
is gonna be
looking
good.
down on it?
Oh.
What?
No, I said this is gonna be good because it's gonna talk about world creation, and I think because at the beginning of the first part is like, oh, player agency and world agency, and I'm still hung on that because I said it's gonna explain, and
Yeah.
they still didn't. But I think it's going to do it. But is he looking down on
Good.
us? Maybe. Like that's
Like,
fine.
is he looking
He
down
can do
at the
what he
player
wants.
that wants to play a new character every 2 sessions? For me,
Ah,
if it's D&D, I prefer if you stick around to the end of the story with the same character.
uh-huh.
But that I
Yeah,
said
because
that as the
D&D has the
expectation.
progression in mind.
Yes.
In D&D, you
And if
should be
you
taking from zero to hero, right?
that's the advertisement pretty much. Reach max
Mm.
level. Go on a journey and all of that. And most people they realize exactly that. Like, and I'm bored at level 6. Like, it was pretty fun from level 1 to 5. Now I'm level 6. Things get tough, and I
Mm-hmm.
just use the same spells that are mostly more optimal than the others. And
And
it's
there's
a
still the
headache.
guy 15
Yeah,
levels deep, still doesn't know how like magic missile works.
yeah,
There's always that guy.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Kedolo
Mm.
says it. That's the issue with level-based games. Welcome, you're trapped here for the next 19 levels, playing the same character.
Yeah.
All that evolves
Uh,
of your character is the number on your character sheet. You know.
it's very video gamey by design, and I think that incentivizes you into playing in a video gamey way. But I cannot
Yes.
say much because I avoided this system, so I cannot really talk much about it. I don't have that much experience on it.
Yeah, I pretty much agree with you. That's what it encourages. So people think about it more like a video game. That's what I mean. Like the first victim in a role playing session is role play.
Yeah.
When rubber hits the road and somebody's gotta die, like we are on a time crunch, we want to finish the dungeon. What dies first? The role play gets cut out first. You just go to I do attack and I use my bonus action to second wind myself. Your turn. Because you want to finish up this combat session in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, I want to see what he means by the world part. That's
By
an
all
interesting.
means, I really believe the more involved in the creation of the big sandbox the players can be involved in, the more into it they're going to be. this thing extends to things like their backstory and factions and people they know or don't know, and a whole lot of other things that can be nicely utilized by any good GM. Even moderately good GMs can take advantage of all the information and material that the players are giving them. It's like I advocate that while you're at the table, you listen to what the characters are saying and doing. Because sometimes through their actions and or lack of actions and things that they drop and say as characters in at the table in game, you can utilize that stuff to further the game dynamics, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
I
If you
agree
choose.
with that.
all of that sounds good to me.
You should be reacting.
Have
Yeah.
players that
See,
thought
like,
about the
there is a lot
character.
that he agrees.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
So
go ahead.
yeah. So the problem is what is the contention with him and the 4D role play of like this whole like this whole straw manning happening in the first 30 minutes of the video. How it was difficult
And
back in the day. You have to play with players who are not interested in role playing. They just want to roll
yeah.
dice. They create a new character every second session while you are trying to like create a cool story at the table. So all of that.
Mhm. Sorry, I'm laughing at the comment. But
What is happening here?
could,
What is happening? If you want
like,
all of this
if you want,
information from your players, like backstory, goals, whatever, why would you be interested at all in removing player agency even a little bit? Yeah.
yeah, I think Kidolo is like, we talked about this a little bit before, and I think we kind of get why he's acting the way he is. I think he feels like we are attacking his past experiences, like all the good times he had with his friends when he was like that's the one that made me laugh. Like we're attacking, like, the fun you had with your friends, like when you were like 13, when you guys got together and ate pizza and laughed and like moved like paper minis or minis. I think he feels like we are invalidating all of that, all those 50 years of good time he had, and that's why he's getting like this aggressive or defensive, because like we're saying, all you did was not real RPG. We're just saying that was not like real role play, not RPG. Like if he, and that's the thing we always say, like if that's what you want to do, fine, man, do it. Like some people, they just want to play League of Legends all day, even if their computer can handle like Cyberpunk at ultra, they just want to play League of Legends, and they have fun with that. They enjoy that. So you do you, man.
Yeah.
Whatever you get your kicks from. Like we get our kicks from actually role playing.
Yeah, and I think we discussed that last video too. Of this is why the word 4D roleplay exists, so we can settle the debates of what we want to do. You're here to say where you are, what you do, and what you say in character.
Yeah.
Don't be distracted by some rule books. We can check that after the game or before the game. You know, and we will
We are
play
min
for 2
maxing.
hours completely in character.
Yeah,
Yeah, min-maxing
we're
our
min maxing
time.
roleplay.
Yeah, like even League of Legends
Yeah,
players wants to get better.
that's true.
At least like
Yeah,
most
but yeah,
most
like
players.
yeah, but yeah, like he's saying, like you should react to what the players do, say, and 100%.
It's in a way like Nicholas, you say like, he remembers fondly of those times, but no, the way he recites his past, it was like I didn't have somebody who could drive me to the games shop. So I went with my sketchy friend's father's car to get there to
Catchy.
play a game. It's like he was out there in the desert, like getting hooked up with some bandits to get a ride into town to
Mhm,
play a game. That's what I hear.
mhm.
It's like the traumatizing times.
I mean, yeah, it builds character.
Yeah, you should react to the
Yeah, I mean,
players.
I don't
I
think he has any
guarantee
games out there, so
Yeah, like I will reserve judgment until he proves otherwise. So I have no horse in the race to determine if he's a good game master or a bad game master.
Yeah.
It's about
But based
if
on
you make a
other
video,
people who do have their games out there.
yeah, like me. Like you can
Yeah.
watch
Sorry,
me
the delay is
play
kind of
kind of. Oh yeah, don't worry. I'll just jump into it, Nicholas. If you want, you can
Go ahead.
watch me play this Descent into Avernus D&D for like 1.5 years. Every session is on YouTube, and you can watch like a session or two of those, and compare that to when I played Primal, when I ran Barotrauma with Nicholas and Solmir, and when we did Dimensional Intelligence Agency with Al as the
Such a nice
first
game.
time
I still
GM.
love that game so much. Yeah,
It's so good.
it's such a good
Like
game.
it was so good. We made a fucking trailer for it, a 1 minute trailer.
Yeah, I still remember it fondly. That's probably one of the best.
Yeah,
And he was a new,
uh,
like first time or second time running a game for all, and he aced it. He aced it just because he understood what role play meant. No 50
yeah,
years, man. It was like 50 hours of experience.
yeah. He had the weekend crash course of playing in Primal, and then showing interest of running a game, and we go through the steps, and it's like it's like, oh, the 12-step program, it worked. It actually worked, and we like all high-fiving. Finally, we cracked the code.
Yeah, so good.
To agency the players to the point where there's no point in having a game master. And this is where I
Well,
start
hold
getting
on.
to
I'm skipping back a bit. I'm losing his
Yeah,
point
yeah.
here.
the game dynamics, right? If you choose to agency the players to the point where there's no point in having a game master, and this is where I start getting into one of those sessions where people, well, you don't like total theater of the mind. You're against fourth dimensional play.
Okay,
He got angry. He did the arm thing.
yeah. Okay.
He got angry.
I'm looking for the point where he explains agencies the players out of having a game master.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever says that, I need to see this. Okay, so small tangent. This is why we have his footage on the screen as we talk about him, right? Because we can see him talk about it. We don't have to make up what he says to talk about it like ad hoc. We can just use the footage. So don't be afraid to use other people's footage so that you can talk about their points. It actually helps clarifying what is happening here. If he would show us talking about 4D, or Mr. Max or Crispy or whoever he wants to choose, use their footage and then talk about, this is what I meant. And maybe, just maybe, we could be like, all right, yeah, this one is weird. Or we can say, you know what? No, we addressed this actually. Just 5 seconds later, you took us out of context.
Yeah. I want to see. Can you resume?
Total theater of the mind. You're against fourth dimensional play. I'm tired of y'all saying shit like that. You ain't saying it me directly, but I'm hearing it indirectly. That ain't how that works. I've told you 100%. I'm a huge fan. The deeper you can get into role playing, the bottom, the better you are, the better your campaign will likely be, the better the experience will be.
Okay, I see.
But there are
I see
Yeah?
what's happening here. I think I get it. Because he's saying like indirectly, like we're not even addressing, and I think I can say this like, uh, as the others would, like nobody's addressing him specifically. I think he's just getting hurt for he's like jumping in front of bullets, so to speak, and like
I like I like the
If you
expression.
like roleplay, man, that's awesome.
I like this expression, Nicholas. It goes like this: insult is not given, it is taken. You know,
Okay, yeah.
somebody calls you an asshole, but if you know you're not an asshole, it doesn't really hurt you. It's like, nah, that like it doesn't even address anything. Somebody could call you a shit cook, and you would be like, well, why would you even think that? You never even tried any of my
Yeah.
meals. You know, it doesn't
Yeah.
connect.
Gordon Ramsay would not be offended, you know,
Yeah, he doesn't
because that
care.
does not affect him.
You only care if it like connects with something that you believe to be the case too. Like that you're ignoring, that you're pushing back, and somebody says
Mm.
that makes like a comment like that. Oh yeah, oh man, you must be a shit cook then. And be like, he has no idea, but you know, like, oh man, I've set the fucking
Mhm.
muesli with milk on fire last time. How did he know? You know, then they get defensive about
Yeah,
it.
it's your insecurities shining through. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I think he's taking. People do that so much. I think I talked about this before.
Okay.
Like,
Offense is
you
taken, not
should.
given. Insults
Yeah, it's
absolutely
a good
can be
point.
given.
It's a good point, Cadella.
Yes.
Like, people should stop taking things so personal. Like, divorce yourself from the idea that you espouse, and like, it's so much easier to talk. Like, if you like, I don't know, like you hate the other parts of JoJo. I love them. Like, if you can say like they're crap, I don't need to get offended by that. You know. So I think that's what's happening here. He's taking like those 50 years, the invalidation of those 50 years. He's getting just passionate
Yeah.
about the thing here. I don't think. Does he go back to the main topic, the responsibility and agency?
Yeah. I
Because
mean, we will see.
I don't want to talk about his. Yeah, I don't want to talk about
We
like
have
his
not.
emotional
Yeah.
reaction to it. I say.
I mean, but it's something I can understand if somebody tells me anime is trash and a waste of time. I feel like, wait, hold on. This good anime, why are we damning the whole medium because the anime you've seen is trash? But at the same time, I know a bunch of new anime isn't as good, as detailed, as story rich. A lot of it is hampered by like fan servicing, by let's bring out the breasts, like make it comedy, let's make it about high school. But I know at the same time you have anime like Berserk that shows a beautiful fantasy world, like a medieval world that is being encroached
Yeah,
upon by demons
yeah.
and how it plays out. That's like a beautiful story, also in the same medium of animation. So yeah. Sorry, tangent. We go back to YSAT.
Yeah.
Are certain advocates out there that truly would like to just get away from the game material. Here it is. It's funny, funny, but I am literally 100+ miles from home in a town I come down to. I don't know, every few months. They got 4 or 5 places to do down here, and I don't know about you, but what do I have in my truck? I have a PDF, of course, but it's a printed book version of a PDF. This would be Operational Turning Points, the Red Corsair for BattleTech. Why do I carry it around on my? Why do I have? You went to my house. I have the second novel of King of Thrones King of Thrones, and I'm partway through it. I read a page or two a night, so it's likely to take a year to get through it. But I have read Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones. I have read Game of Thrones 5 or 6 times from all the books I own.
I was gonna ask
times.
that. Isn't BattleTech
And,
a war game?
So there is BattleTech the war game, and that's the famous one with the minis that you move around and turn. Each player has a turn, and you shoot the rockets and the lasers of whatever battle mech you have.
Good fun.
And there's also a BattleTech role-playing game that plays more like a DLC, like it expands. It gives you stat
Narrative
blocks for your
skirmishes. Okay.
pilots. if you're like outside of the mech suit, how much damage does a laser pistol do, and gives you skills for persuading people. So most people play BattleTech, the wargame part, with the tactics on the battlefield, and some people,
Mech Warrior.
Mech Warrior, that's the RPG version. I think it's Mech Warrior: A Time of War RPG. I'm not quite sure. They have similar names. And some people try to combine both of them to have the super cool BattleTech combats, and supplement it with the out of the battle mech role playing, so that the stakes are higher, and make a campaign out of your mercenary outfits expanding or getting destroyed by the clanners invading and all of that.
Yeah, sounds fun.
It can be that
sure
shows the. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So say I'm sure someone did the same with like Warhammer 40K. Play like the skirmish in the battle game and then go into the
Exactly.
And I've watched.
But that has nothing to do with agency
or whatever. So
Yes.
Meanwhile, in my bathroom, I currently have a Fan Pro version of the Periphery. I have another battle technology. I also have Thay, first edition Dungeons and Dragons Thay sourcebook in a magazine rack next to the toilet. Why? Think about it, because I read a lot. I read every chance I get. So if I'm sitting someplace where I'm waiting for a customer to show up, I can be reading on material. If I'm sitting at the bathroom doing my constitutional, I can read instead of just sit there.
It's a hobby, and you're invested in the hobby, and you take every chance you can get to engage with it. I see nothing wrong with that, but the point isn't if it's like next to the bathroom toilet.
I think it is I think we were right. I think he feels that we are invalidating and saying that he's a bad GM and that he doesn't know what he's doing. I feel like that's how he's taking it. That's why it's 40 minutes long video inside a car.
Yeah. It's fine. Yeah, I know. My grandpa used to read his newspapers on the toilet. That's why the newspapers are always by the toilet seat. I know. That was a thing back then.
Exactly.
All right.
Kedola said it right there. Just because we think it's inferior doesn't mean that's invalid. Exactly. And even if we think it's inferior, like, why does it cut so deep? Why does it matter so much, man? Because like you also think that I'm pretty sure that he thinks that some stuff we say, it's like, totally unbased. And I say unbased, I mean it's totally like bullcrap. Like whatever, we still like enjoy the games we do. I don't know, man. People need to stop taking things so personally. Unless like it's saying that you like, then it's hard to not take personally if I say like you are this. But
I'm gonna make I think it has. We live in a time and age where a lot more families are like breaking apart. People move around to keep their jobs. They move away from their communities, or like get rid of the religion they grew up with to go their own path, and you end up with people alone and with no sense of community. And then they attach themselves to a video game, to a hobby, to be their new identity. I feel like this is happening more and more nowadays.
Could be
because you still want to belong in a way, or at least like most normal people have that sensation, Let's see. I want to what's happening in this comment here.
Yeah,
gonna put it up there.
spitting fire.
The difference is
The
we engage
different-
with these people because we would like them to get it. They engage with us because they're insecure and they don't want to find out. They've been doing it wrong for 15 years. 50 years. Yeah. Yeah, I'm afraid that might be it. And
It's
if
because
it's not it,
yeah,
then
it sounds bad when you say you've been doing wrong, because it feels like, oh, we are all the keepers of truth. I understand
Yeah.
how it sounds, but then we could say the same thing stepping on eggshells and it would make no difference. It's not that we
yes.
think we're the keepers of truth. It's just that roleplay, if we're talking about just roleplay, the act of playing a role, playing a character, you're not doing as much as you could. That's the truth.
And I will
And
go as far as to
there's
say
still trying to evolve.
to the point where your seat at the table makes a video from a car about a game master responsibility, shows that he has a desire to improve, because he gets defensive about it when we or people make comments about role playing. It's not aimed at him, but it hits him, you know. So he
Yeah.
clearly cares,
Yeah, we all do.
which is
I mean,
yeah. No, lots of people, they don't really care. They just want to play and have fun.
oh yeah,
They
that's the
don't want
players though.
to.
I'm saying GMs, they all care. GMs are the one passionate about it. People who have run games.
Yeah,
I don't even think they're doing
total.
it wrong. I'm just saying they don't want to find out there might be a better way. Yeah, because 50 years,
Yeah,
that can be a blessing and a curse. It's a lot
I've
of
had the
weight you have to
same.
carry.
Yeah, I've been drawing over 10 years on and off, but it's been clearly over 10 years now. And then I was like in a home situation with another guy that's 10 years younger, who's been drawing for 3 years. And his images are really good, to the point where I think, oh man, he does better character design and cleaner line art, better use of color than me. Even though what he's drawing is like, furries or something, like a anthropomized parrot. But it's a good looking parrot. It's like good use of fuzziness and feathers. And I feel, and I get the same sensation of like, have I been wasting the last 10 years drawing badly?
Yeah.
But I don't have to
Kind of-
attack him for it. It's like, that's awesome. I hope you can continue. I want you to go further than I have, so to say.
No.
At least, yeah.
I'm laughing at the comment. Here's the thing, man. Okay, about furries are for the artists. People joke like they are the most people who, like, they are into it to a point where they are so dedicated about everything they do. Like, you see those fursuits, they look better than like Hollywood costumes. And yeah, but like what I mean, like they are really invested into it. They really want. That's one thing that probably the only thing I admire in furries, like maybe even to their own detriment, but they are invested and they try to,
yeah.
like they
There's
pay
a
like
passion.
they pay like $8,000 commission for a drawing. So they actually like. There's a lot of people who do normal art, and in secret they are furry artists. Anyway, it is to their detriment, but like they are into it. They really try to do the best. So that's an admirable trait. What did we
I
start talking
cannot
about it?
even, because I wanted to bring up the parallel of you can be passionate about a different hobby.
Oh yeah.
And I
Mhm.
feel, personally, like really insecure about my art skills because this newcomer
Yeah.
is improving faster and quicker than I am.
It happens.
But also it's like it's not on him that I'm not as good.
Yeah.
If it hurts me, then maybe I should do something about it. I should let
Yeah,
go of the ego and be cool with being average, or I should be like, that's the kick in the ass I needed to start again and go hard in the paint, so to say, and improve.
Yeah, I mean, there's a phrase I really like. It's like, humility or humbleness is caring for what is right and not who is right. And I think we can apply here, like, doesn't matter who is right, but what is right. And that whole, because when you start thinking like that, you start divorcing yourself on the thing, and you stop taking offense for free. And that's what he's doing. He's thinking like, oh, it's because you are right. No, it's not that I am right. It's just like, focus on what I'm saying, ignore me. I'm just like a vessel for the message, you know.
Don't shoot the messenger. And it's not absolving us from our sins, it's separating us from the message. Like, I can espouse virtues about role playing, and then I force Nicholas to play in a really trash Fatal game or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's.
And I put it. I let the viewers decide if they catch that reference or not. we can let's let the man talk. Let the man talk.
Stare at the wall in wonder. You know. Meanwhile, just about everywhere I have any lingering presence at, I have game related stuff. I mean, I freaking come in this truck and I carry a bloody bag with me full of crap. You know, I've got the core book to my
That's
own
a cool bag. I'm kind of jealous.
sitting in here, because whenever I get a chance, I pound away on it and try to get a couple
I have
more,
one
paragraphs, a couple more lines.
Go ahead. Oh, I thought you wanted to say something, Nicholas.
He's passionate about it, man. That's good.
Yeah.
I think he's going on about it, just like we said. Like,
yeah,
it's good.
Yeah.
Something more done.
That's it.
But the point I'm getting at, though, right? Does that make it, me a bad GM because I'm kind of obsessed with the hobby?
I mean, to the point, this was addressed last video that Tyler once said. Like, it's not derogatory when we say, yeah, maybe you should write a book. Maybe you should get your players, ask them for feedback to create a world and write a novel and put it out there. Why are we playing them? Do you want to create this beautiful world? Or do you want to role play? Because if you create this beautiful world, every time the players want to do something that is off, away from what you spent hours and hours creating, you will feel like you wasted your time. And that's the part that increases the insecurity. It's not the player's fault that they are
get into programming
than you are.
Get into RPG Maker and make a RPG Maker game. People might actually enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I definitely play those kinds of games.
Yeah, we play for the story. Those games. I mean, RPG games, if it's not an action RPG, you're playing for the story. Let's be real, because the gameplay is crap. The JRPGs. But the gameplay is insufferable. People play it for the story and the character design.
Let's see. I want to see what's happening here. K-Dolo is skeptical. The biggest posers are often the people who surround themselves with the most paraphernalia. We call them wallet warriors. That's wallet warriors.
A good term. Can you highlight the second one just so he doesn't sound as abrasive?
I'm not saying he is a poser. Just like all of these bona fides are any proof that he is not.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody suggested that. Like I said, he's taking he's extra.
Yeah,
he's taking offense.
It's like, there's an arrow flying over there. Let me jump in the way and catch it. And
but
call victim.
in that case, I would even say like there's no arrow. We did not shoot. This is an arrow that was not shot. He found it one on the ground and he's stabbing himself.
He stepped on it, you know, walking
Exactly.
through the forest.
Yeah. Like saying that, oh, yeah, we do say that people are not actually role playing. That is a thing, but nobody's saying that you're a fake GM or a fake like hobbyist. Nobody said
Yeah.
that.
Okay, let's continue. Let's see if there's like anything left in the last 6-8 minutes, or if he's indulging. Which, you know, I don't blame him. I make videos where I fucking slabber
It's
on.
his video,
You
so
know, yeah, it's his video.
he does what he wants.
Exactly. This is
Yeah,
our video.
exactly, kiddo. Yeah.
Yeah, jammed the stick in the
Yeah.
bike. Like, oh, those damn 4D players, they rode my bike again.
Yeah. You know, if you wanna call crap on the things we do say, that's fair. But anyway,
I would like to hear that, because maybe I'd actually learn something that I can pick on for the next
yeah,
session.
exactly.
As long as it's more than just, you know, insults for 20 minutes.
He looks ugly, you know. Yeah, that does not help. I know I'm ugly.
He's bad.
I don't need it.
He has a tiny mustache. He has a double chin. My God, he didn't even shave his neck beard. Like, what are you gonna do about this? This is my warrior cry, you know. It's like, it flashbangs them. Like, oh, my eyes.
Warriors cry.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Should we eliminate the game master position altogether? Once again, there are advocates out there to do just that.
Who?
Must be new.
Yeah,
Sound like
man.
sirens going off. Right?
Back to the point of names. If they are out there,
Yeah.
show the video, post a clip, or just like you reference it. Yeah, I've seen it in this video. It's by Mr. Max. You might find it in the
because he's in
live
the
section.
car, so I get it. Editing,
Yeah.
he's not like, you know, but just say the name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Because
What do you think? We talk about all this stuff about player agency and you know, downplaying the game master's role, or changing it to the point where they almost don't point to him at all. Let me tell you, one of the
I mean, this is why I am still kind of upset, because he paints us in a bad light, basically, without naming us,
everybody does
to
that.
his audience that doesn't know us, that didn't listen to us, and all they hear, like, oh, you know, like, oh, this tribe of cannibals, they're like completely out
them
of
over
control.
the heroes. Yeah,
Yes. Don't
we
go
are the
there.
people over
Like,
the hill.
they're not to be reasoned with. You know, they will literally steal and do all of. I was about to say a YouTube unfriendly word there.
Yeah,
They will do the bad things to you.
They will do the molesty.
Yeah. It's like, well, that's unfair. You don't give me any chance to defend myself. I don't even know, like, if it's not me, then who are you talking about? Because I feel like I'm in that circle over here. I would have picked up on it by now.
Exactly.
If it's happening.
one more thing, and I'll just get out of here. You know, we'll call this video good. Another hour and 45-minute long drive back to town. Plus, I got to go dump the truck, and I've been on the clock since 5:30 this morning. Right, so I'm gonna get this done. I'm going home today.
Yeah, hard worker. Sounds good.
If the game was nothing but all for and mostly about the player, I probably would never have been a dungeon master in the first place.
Okay, it took all this time.
I learned I wanted to be a dungeon master after watching my friend do it a few times, because he wanted to be one because his older brother did it for him a couple times. So he was kind of to mimic his brother as best he could, plus the very, very limited explanations how to do things in the very early books. If you don't believe me, go find a PDF of the white book and go find out. The very earliest edition of D&D is very thin, very tiny, and it has almost no
Yeah.
no introductory stuff. What I mean is they don't have anything to teach you how to do this stuff. They expect you to learn either by example, by participating at somebody else's table who figured it out, or figuring it out.
Like, here's a clue. They did not figure it out, right? You had all of these years of people playing, and what they liked was rolling dice and
Yeah.
beating the big bad evil guy. And they said, "This is a good story, Game Master. I've had fun. I will show up to the next, evening, like, book novel that you're going to read to us." That's what people
Yeah.
picked up from role playing, which is why we exist as the 1%. It's like the 16
Yeah.
people in a circle that have agreed. But we would actually like to role play, though.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like we said, nobody's invalidating like the money, the time,
Yeah.
the sweat, blood, and tears you've put into into the
No.
thing.
I've played in those games, and every time I play in them, it plays out the same way. Nothing new under the sun. The game
I
master
really
thought he
like the
thought of
way
something new. Go ahead.
in Off Your Skin, Tyler said like he was wearing a D&D shirt, and the guy's like, "Yeah, my barbarian like crit this one dude." It's like, yeah, man, I've seen that happen.
Oh,
like
1,000 times.
yeah.
Oh, you got a crit, and then you crit after the crit again? Now that's a memorable role-playing moment.
That's like the Squidward meme. Wow, daring today, aren't we? 2 crits in a row.
It's still a cool story, but it has and then I ask again.
I have like my share of like funny stories that mechanic induced. Like, oh yeah, it happens. But anyway,
which left it open for us to interpret things quite wildly and widely, and not necessarily always accurately. Part of that was youth. Part of that was inexperience.
I'm sorry to pause again, but it sounds to me like there was room to breathe. And because you had that room, you engaged with your imagination to fill in the gaps, to fill in the blanks, which makes it special.
Yeah.
Right? So I don't see this as a bad thing, or like that you were held back 50 years ago or anything. It's like, yeah, it's a more pure way of playing the game without because that's what we see happening, right? Like with all veteran players that are jaded and do the same actions because they got burned by a GM last time. Hold on, what is happening? He's mentioned about how young and special his fucking uptime was. He hasn't said shit about the game he ran last week.
Yeah, and
I don't think he's
we need
going
not
to
even touch on that.
Was there a game last week? I have no clue.
Yeah, it's really funny though. Like, I think like when this whole thing was starting, overall everybody else was louder on calling out the you're actually not role playing, but since Shoner passed away, because Shoner was still very strong on that, but like we have not been talking about that as much. We've been talking about other aspects of role play, but we haven't been like calling people out. And he's still on it. Like we're not talking about people. It's been a long time now. I mean, you guys did
We've let you rest.
Skin.
You got a break
because the guy had an
2
awful
months,
take.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah, you're talking the Tunic guy, like because he was talking about roleplay. So we're talking about roleplay, but not about people.
Yeah. You talk about inventing a system where the whole game you will be in prison, but every 30 minutes I let you out on the courtyard to make a choice.
Yeah, your sunbathing time.
Yeah. Exactly. You get to see the sun for a couple of minutes. You know, that's all I hear. That's all I hear when Questing Beast opens his mouth, man. If you're interested in that, watch the last tear of your skin, tear off your face.
My point being that he's looking fondly back on the early times when he gave himself space to Mesa. I wonder if he has a memorable moment from anything recent. Yeah, this whole video feels like a cry.
A cry for help.
Like my time, my money. I don't know. Maybe. You know, he has the books.
If he
He
wants
has
to,
the time.
yeah. We can go to, if you want, like we can actually read some of the comment section afterwards, if there's time left. I just wanted at least the plan was let's at least finish the video, you know, so that nobody's gonna be like, you guys, you stopped too early. You didn't even let him finish. Like he had something to say. Okay, we are finding out if he what is left there to say.
Well, I don't know what kind of siren that is, but that sure is keeps going on and on. I can't imagine. Finally winding down. I was going to say that's crazy. I grew up in, like I said, I grew up in a small town. Every day at noon, they used to sound the whistle. Every day at noon except Sunday. And Sunday mornings, it was the churches ringing their bells. And that was like that all through the 70s, 80s, and 90s.
We had an onion on our belts, which was style at the time.
Once a month, first Saturday of the month to test the storm sirens and stuff, tornado sirens. So, if you eliminate Game Master agency, you minimize Game Master participation.
Okay, I'm pausing again. Well, yeah, he's going on a hypothetical where we already established nobody wants that. And we brought out our points why we want Game Masters. And as
you guys already talked about it for.
Yeah, it's that we see the Game Master also as a player. Like, yeah, obviously you're still human, you know. I'm not fucking. If you're not, then I replace you with a robot. I pick you because you're human. Like, yes, give me a person that reflects the world over some trash AI. That creative flair, that imagination behind those between those 2 years. Yeah, the spark. Like a spark of creativity is so much value for me personally.
Yeah, I mean, it's because you're playing with a real human. Like I've tried messing with like AI, it's just not the same. Like I need because you have your own lived experience, your own personal like life story, and that seeps into the way you play. So it's new to me. It's 100% a new experience every time we play a game because you're a different person than me. That's why I don't do solo as well. I could do solo because I enjoy the creative aspect, but what I really like about RPGs is the actual role playing, and that can only flourish when I have other people doing it as well.
Yeah, and I like the moments when the players decide to do something I was not prepared for. It's like, oh wow,
and
like this is exciting.
Something, yeah.
Oh boy, yes, absolutely.
But yeah, I think you guys talked about that on the Terra first skin, so I will not go.
We covered it. The skin has been torn, and we wore the skin already.
The loot, Game Master interpretation. What do you have left?
A player?
What do you have left? And how many people are going to learn to play? Really going to learn to play?
If they don't want to learn to play, fine. Okay, I'm not going to play with you. If you have no energy, like, oh, I'd like to play. All right. Did you read the book? No.
No.
Do you know your class? No. Have you read up upon spells like for your wizard? Like, not really. Okay, but what did you do? The dice looked funny.
I showed up.
I showed up. I know it was 20 minutes late, but I'm here, aren't I? So, like, at some point we all decide like how much shit we are willing to take. Of
Yeah,
like, what is the
man.
quality expected at my table? If he shows up late,
That's
everybody else will think this is okay now. Now I will show up late too
That's
because
like
they
table
don't.
PR, like public relations. It's just you managing people. Like you need to have that skill, and that's not even a game thing. That's just like knowing how to
Exactly.
socialize and manage people in your life.
We solved that with rule fucking 0. Don't be a dumbass.
Yeah.
And every time you are, I will point it out and say that's a dumbass thing to do, don't you think? Most of the times I get them to agree to it, like, yes, you're right. And sometimes that's the thing a player struggles with. And you decide, you know what, I like him as a person. I don't like him as a player. We can improve on it.
That's
Or you
fine.
just do things outside of the gaming table together.
Yeah,
That's
play
not
a
role-playing.
game, man. There's a bunch of like cool dungeon dwelling games that you can play with your friends.
Yeah. Let's play Baldur's Gate 3 instead,
Yeah, play Vermintide,
Co-op session. Yeah.
So we go back a little bit to something I keep hitting back on. Well, I really think that people sit there and say, well, I can take a new player and teach them how I want to play. Sure. I learned the hard way after I graduated from university, went to college, got my degree, and then I found out, guess what? Everybody that, I went to school with and stuff ended up going and get jobs for something unrelated to what I went to school with. Well, if I knew that, I would have tried to got something that was more effective for what my experiences were, my real world experiences were, and not what I wanted to do at my age, because I had numerous would-be employers tell me, well, if you were younger, we could mold you, or if you were, right out of high school or right out of the service, we could. But
I'm mostly skipping over that part because it's like, yes, that's an American problem. That's like an industry problem. It's cropping up everywhere. I understand this experience. It doesn't do anything, nothing to do with roleplay, so I'm pretty much skipping over it.
But you're 52, and you don't have any background in any of this stuff. Why did you take it as a class? Why is this your diploma based on something you had no real experience with? Right? Just ask yourself that.
I mean, that's what I hear out of, like, this is the insecurity showing, no? Like, people you're applying for, they're questioning it, and now you have to defend yourself. That sucks. I agree. But you should have, the reason should be, that's what I was interested in, right? Do I really need more than that? Is there anything left to justify?
Yeah.
And I guess, like, in a way, I mean this as an honest question. Is there really more to that than I was interested in it? I thought that's what I wanted to do. Now I'm not so sure, but here I am. So
I'm not sure why he's going on that. I don't know. I don't have anything to say. I don't.
Yeah.
Can't follow.
Yeah, we can.
His.
We can skip it. Good.
Yeah.
There's such a thing as too much agency, too much player agency. Just like there's such a thing as too much game master railroading. And if you don't think you need to,
I mean, that's the thing we addressed with too much player agency. Yeah, we talked about that. What you describe as too much player agency has nothing to do with what we talk about. It's unrelated. It's I don't know anybody who says play agency means they come up with the encounters and they just invent factions on the spot every time. The 4D co-creation part is assuming things in the world, in the scene, that is reasonable to assume.
The GM can always mold it. It's not taken at face value.
Yes. Sometimes you're stretching a bit far because there's no clear line. We are co-creating. And the game master like tries to turn you around a bit. Like, I go for the telephone, and the game master says, the spot for the telephone is empty with a dusty outline where it should be.
I was gonna say
You
the
know?
dust outline. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying not to invalidate the telephone you have co-created because I want to respect your play agency. But I'm pushing
Yeah.
back on what my plans for the adventure was. And sometimes it's like, oh, that's not a problem. And you like nod and said like it's a black telephone sitting there with a spin dial, like give it
Yeah.
a bit of flair. That's how you do it.
Railroad once in a while, you have never been a game master. And if you're telling people, "Oh, I don't ever do that,"
And you've never been a game. Wait, hold on. Why?
agency.
Yeah, he's
player
straw manning, I
agency.
think.
Just like there's such a thing as too much game master railroading. And if you don't think you need to railroad once in a while, you have never been a game master. And if you're telling people, "Oh, I don't ever do that. I've never had to do that," no offense, you're lying. You're lying or misinterpreting or forgetting your own basics. And if you never have done this, I question whether you're really a good GM in the first place.
I mean,
Okay.
doesn't that sound like?
I think everybody has.
Oh,
done
you've
it,
never. Yeah. Is it a bad thing if you say,
but like,
"Oh, I've never done this classic mistake because I've learned about it in school, so I never had to do it," and you turn around and say, "Well,
yeah.
therefore you must be lying. Like it's impossible." That's not a thing,
Yeah, I don't know. See,
That's
okay,
what I hear.
and we are the elite, the elitists.
Yeah.
When statements like that, because that sounds very, if you've never done this way, it's
How
like,
do you
okay,
even know
Matt,
what you're
we're
talking
like,
about?
yeah, it's like, anyway, I don't want, but yeah, like, if you are actually role playing, we don't need to railroad when people are role playing. I feel like if you are respecting, again, the player agency, the big word of the day, you don't need to railroad. Like, what even is railroad? Like, it's not my story, it's our story, it's our game, not my game.
Yes. That's the whole thing, like that Tyler brought up with the adventure book, the Gen Con 9 booklets about the modules, where the designer says that those are created so that 10 game masters can sit down and reach the end of the dungeon in a reasonable time frame. So we remove dungeon master agency. It's cut down short. All the monsters want to kill, and they will fight until they die. And that's what you end up with, like this this murder hobo game where you fight through and jump past all of the traps and solve the puzzle and reach the end and beat the guy. Because that's the limit if you want to run a game at an event. That's what we are saying. Like, yeah, that is railroading. Which part of that sounds interesting, really? If I want to express my character and explore ideas, I need room to breathe. And if we are in a railroad in a dungeon that's about reaching the end of it, you really limits my creativity to the point where I'm not interested anymore.
Yeah.
Or I was interested and I played that game 10 times already. I've done it. Computer games do it better anyways. So let's just role play when we sit down to play together.
Yeah. I don't know. That's probably like the really like bad take of his in this video. You should how can you say you're a good GM if you don't railroad? Like, that's, don't say that, man.
Yeah, sometimes you just need a quantum ogre. I mean, if you never use a quantum ogre, are you really a good GM? Like, what does it have to do with anything? Do I have to burn my muesli first before I can prove that I can cook? Like, do I have to set the milk on fire?
Exactly. I was thinking of like an example like that to use, but exactly. You've
Yeah.
never blown up like a microwave before. How can you say, you know?
How can you say you're a real chemist if you never exploded the fucking schoolhouse?
Yeah, like I get it. It happens because it's a common thing, but like that should not be the entryway to to say that you can do a thing.
My personal opinion, of course.
Which we all know. We clicked your video, so we understand that.
Yeah.
Okay, this might sound pedantic, but I'm bringing it up because so many
I don't like
YouTubers do this thing
yeah.
of, it's just my
I don't
personal
like it
opinion,
either.
and therefore you cannot attack me or anything I say because it's an opinion. So stop replying to me. It's like, no, we know.
It's always your opinion. Like, what else would it
yes,
be? You know,
that's the only thing it can be. It can be the truth and your opinion. 2
but
plus 2 is
opinion.
4. Well, actually, 2 plus 2 is whatever the fuck you want it to be. It's like, we don't, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's what it feels like reading the comment section. Just my personal opinion, but you're wrong if you disagree.
Yeah.
It plays out. So young junior wants to be a game master. Fine. Go buy the books. Make the investment in the hard stuff first. Invest in the books first.
Yeah,
that's elitism. Again, so
that is elitism.
Yeah,
I feel like
literally you're not letting him in until he like pays. You know, you have to pay.
Thinks in the amount of money. Yeah.
What if you say, "Great! Oh, you want to run the game? Awesome! I can print you out the Dungeon Master's Guide. It's not too much. Or I can lend you my book. I can get you."
I don't know, man.
link.
I feel like we have the proof. We have the DIA game with all, like, the game he run. He made up like a 1-page guideline to how the rolling system would work, because he didn't feel comfortable in actually like reading a whole book before. The game was awesome. It was perfect, and it ran
beautiful.
smoothly. So like
first
entry you
game
have
master.
To, yeah. You know,
yeah,
I disagree heavily with what he's saying here.
I mean, that's the elitism part, as you say. Exactly. It's like, you want to be a game master. First of all, you have to do the same things I do. No,
if you don't, yeah, if you don't play by the guild, like the guild standards of approval, you're not one of the.
Yeah.
It's the whole thing. You're either with the guild or you're not allowed to exercise your profession.
You're either part of the Actors Guild or you do not get a job in Hollywood.
Yeah, the union.
Literally.
Yeah, Kado said it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, it's in there? Okay.
Yeah,
GM union. I've paid my dues for 50 years, so now you have to. It's like, no. What if I just act? And
it circles back to the invalidation. It circles back to the invalidation point we made before.
Yes.
Oh no, I want to learn how to play using somebody else's stuff. Well, that's great for one session, maybe, and only under the tutelage of the person that owns the books. But it's BS to, I want to be this. Well, let me borrow your books. No, because like I said, I've had it happen, and I've had.
I mean, you want to trust a person. If you give him your books, he will bring them back in a week or two. And if you don't have the trust, you don't do that.
Thing.
Yeah,
that's a whole different thing about them.
Yeah, a lot of people,
Oh.
they're like, they forget about it or they're not that invested, but you are. So you constantly prong about it, like, can I have my books back? Oh, yeah, sure. Oh, sorry, I forgot about it. And then they start getting annoying. It's like, we all get that. That's fine. You say, like, if you come to my house, you can read my books in under my roof, so that I know where the
Mhm.
fucking books are. And then you can leave the house again.
I can see your grubby little hands. Yeah.
Yeah. There's fucking Cheeto tainted fingertips, grabbing the
Yeah.
books like, my
You make
God.
him wear the rubber glove before.
Yes. You have to put on the gloves. You have to wear the tunic before you touch the books.
Yeah.
Uh,
Had to replace books because people didn't bring it back or forgot about it, or it was like, oh, I don't want to play no more. Well, give me my damn shit back. Hello?
yes, this is not a
Yeah.
this is not a role play problem. It's a player problem. It's a
Is a people
a
thing.
person problem. Yeah, people problem. It's solved with people skills.
You only have to have that happen once. In my case, twice before you just don't do it no more.
He has
I
some
hate
open
being
wounds about
I
that,
hate
and I can feel it. Like books, not giving books back is a thing. Is a big problem.
Yeah, I've done it myself. I've said, yeah, I think I will read this. Yeah, I'll bring it back. And then I lost interest and I don't think about it. I like push it back into my mind, like, yeah, I'll do it in the future.
Yeah,
And then next thing you know, it's like you
never
move to a
happened.
different place. And you look at the book
Yeah.
and feel like, nah, I just throw it in the trash. Wasn't that important anyways.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
I did do
Okay.
that. I don't feel good about it, but it's also like if it's a problem, I feel like it would have brought up. But that's a thing where like,
Yeah.
well, I'm still in the wrong though in the end. Like, let's be honest here.
Yeah. You are, man.
I should have at least like made the effort to send it by mail or something. Like, just fucking bite the bullet
Yeah.
for $5 to send it by mail. Like, here's the book back. Sorry, man. I've been pushing it away. There you go. Off my mind.
Yeah.
But not a role playing book. It was like about a specific topic. It's like,
Yeah. Okay.
being the guy that says no. I really don't want to be the guy that says no, or the gal that says no. Well, I can't be a gal that says no. But you get what I'm saying. I don't want to be the.
I mean, that's the point of you don't want to be a pushover.
People.
That's not.
Yeah. That's a people thing. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah, it's not a game master problem of, oh, I always have to accept everything the player says. It's,
Yeah.
I'm the game master.
This is not a crime against roleplay.
Yes, exactly. This is a different division. We have Crispy to solve
over our
interpersonal
jurisdiction.
conflicts. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Person who has to say no to somebody who really truly wants to learn how to play and could be a very damn good game master given the chance. If they're willing to sit at my table with my books and I'm there and I can answer some questions for them, I'm more than willing to do that up to a point, because that can get become abusive too. And I'd say double. This goes double for family. No offense, fella.
Sorry, I did see this one. You guys cruise through the rest of this smiley face.
Yeah,
Job's
man.
done. Yeah.
We can rest.
Yes.
What's the word? Peace of mind. Yeah.
Yes. If we are cooking the books, so to say, we no, not cooking the book. Yeah, we reopened the case of crimes against roleplay to see, like, well, there was something left. We thought it's done, but we have to make sure. Point the I's and cross our T's.
Dad, your kid wants to do that, make him buy the damn book. Or you go buy him the book for him as a gift. But you don't give him your stuff. If they're willing to act.
You can link a
I don't know.
PDF
This is feeling
nowadays.
like, yeah, this is feeling like he's venting off about something very specific that
Yes,
happened only to him. It's like when you say,
twice.
yeah, don't
It
you hate
happened
it
to him
when like
twice.
women, yeah, when women they and then he goes
And
into
they
very
betray
specific
you, and
details.
yeah, don't you hate
Yeah,
it
and
when
then
they
they
stab
give
you
you
in
a
the
dog, but
kidney?
then they give you a dog named like Barky or something. Like they just like what?
Don't you
Just
hate
leave
it
that.
when your
No.
girlfriend tells you to go on all fours and woof for her? Man, I
Yeah,
hate it when that happens. But
exactly.
every Valentine's Day, it's like comes up. It's like, what the fuck relationship are you in, my man? You need
Yeah.
help. Do you need me to call a police? I think
Uh,
I think I have to.
yeah. So yeah, the young guy he's talking about there is like he's just telling only German stuff. That's like yeah, barking German for me. How
both
do
both.
dogs barking? It's both. Okay,
Nee, die sagen
there you go.
wow, wow.
Oh, okay, so it's the same in Portuguese. It's wow as well. There you go.
Yeah.
I think our dogs can communicate. Brazilian dogs and German dogs can communicate fine. I think.
Yeah. They talk in Morse code to each other.
Yeah, same dialect.
Actually be the dungeon master. Let them buy the material to start with. Get the core books. If they don't own those basic core books, then by rights they really can't be a good dungeon master because they don't have all the tools, the bare bones mechanic tools. No, try working under the hood of any kind of vehicle without a tool bag with tools. You don't get very far with your fingers.
Yeah. Once you have
I've been
worked
there and I've tried it.
the work I done, you understand it, kid. That's what he's saying. Once you broke your
Yeah.
back, like I did on the field, then you come talk to me. That's what it's feeling like.
Well, it's a different conversation again because a role-playing game doesn't teach you how to role play. Like there's like
Yeah, it
a
teaches you the
paragraph or
rules.
two. Yeah, there's a
Yeah,
paragraph or two to talk about role playing. Most
what
of
is
it
roleplay?
is, yeah, it's like wrong. It's their fucking philosophical take on it.
Yeah,
And then they have
or
another
or
5 paragraphs that says, but you can do whatever you want, so don't bite me.
yeah, it's sometimes it has like you embody the character, but then all the examples they ignore that. All the
Yeah,
roleplay examples on the rest of the book they ignore that, or the rules really do not help that.
yeah. I liked it the way the 5th edition did it, which I did read. That's how I had to learn. Like him, there was no game master, there was no player. I pretty much recruited half of my family to become D&D players. I didn't turn them into
Yeah,
role players, but they do role play sometimes.
there
I
you go.
turned them into D&D players instead, which is a fate worse than death.
Yeah, I mean,
But the book
yeah, don't mix
said,
family and
don't mix family and role play.
yeah, I don't know. It's like,
Okay. It's worked out. It worked out for me. So
yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's boundary pushing. Like you need to separate your groups of people. Like when I go to church, I don't start talking about JoJo with people. Like that's like you need to you need to separate. Like this
you
group
don't?
is for this.
Oh
not
yeah.
not most of
No,
the time.
I mean it was an exercise to show this is what I like, this is what I do as a hobby.
Hmm.
I want
Oh,
at least
okay.
my parents to get it. So let me run a game for you to show you
And
the
that
magic
sounds
that I
very
like.
wholesome. Yeah,
Yeah, and
that's I like that.
it was a great experience.
Yeah,
Yeah. And now
yeah.
I
But
have two
just
siblings,
to
they rent
clarify.
their own tables. Yeah, go ahead,
Okay,
sorry.
I'm Brazilian Portuguese. Cadolo. But just to clarify about the boundary pushing thing, like, have you seen, like, for example, those videos of like My Little Pony presentations in college that the nerds do? Like, this is My Little Pony, and then they go ahead in front of the whole class.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
that's what I mean when I say like boundary pushing. Like, you need to separate
Yeah.
things. You should not be doing like My Little Pony presentation in front of your classmates. Don't do that.
Look,
If you like that,
Chat
keep to
doesn't
yourself.
Chat doesn't know my history with My Little Pony. They don't know. So we're gonna keep it that way. But I did
I didn't
do
know either.
yeah. But I did do a Dungeons and Dragons presentation as like my final work at my work school. So I did read up on the past and made the whole thing. Yeah, it's, that's the goal. Some people, they talked about bodybuilding. That was their passion. Somebody talked about like super boring, trashy stuff because they just want to have like finish this exercise that they have to do over 3 months, And for me, it's like I want to at least pick something I'm interested in instead of some trash topic.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, when I just started high school, I had a buddy that was 1 year ahead of me, and then he looked at me because like we were like very nerdy, both of us. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We were very nerdy, and then he told me like before the first year started, he approached me, like put his hand on my shoulder, like, look, man, whatever you do when they ask you to introduce yourself, don't say anything about anime. Yeah, and I internalized that. So like that's how I survived high school. Like some stuff you don't share, man.
I will say that I can see that Brazil is much more savage about that kind of stuff.
I mean, like nowadays it's fine. Like, okay, you can say Dragon Ball, you can say like Knights of the Zodiac.
Because Dragon Ball is cool about being super strong.
Yeah. But like maybe Pokemon, but even Pokemon is pushing it. It's like it's too spurgy to be into Pokemon.
Man, I love Neo Genesis Evangelion. The theme of the movie is like what
you're gonna get beat up, I mean, maybe not today. The world has changed, but in my time, at least, you would.
Yeah. We can let the man finish.
It don't work. Yeah. You could be a young fella in the middle of nowhere, bumfuck Iowa in my case, and have a 15-year-old car that breaks down all the time, and that you do everything you can to keep it running. You learn to carry a lot of stuff in your trunk. There's always been a running gag about women and their purses. Well, guess what? You want to know a guy? Look in the trunk of his car. Yeah. You'll tell
that's a very American take.
A poor guy carries a lot more shit in his trunk than a rich guy does. Just saying. Think about that for a minute. Just give it some thought, my friends. Until next time, from the great city of Ottumwa, Iowa, southeastern bumfuck Iowa. And excuse my foul language. Some days it's just hard for me to not speak my mind completely.
Gary Vaynerchuk. You know what the people say? Oh, it's a Lynchian movie. This is like a.
If you don't see the nostrils, isn't even a YouTube video.
That's actually freaking gray hair in my mustache, and I know I'm getting old. My mustache is starting to turn gray. My hair started turning gray a few years ago.
Man, I have a bunch of gray hair as well, and I'm not even that old.
Me too. We did it. Oh, it shows all of my recommendations. Is anything of that?
No.
Yeah. It only shows people that I watch World of Warcraft videos. I'm safe.
Yeah.
I got lucky this time.
You're safe. You have there.
Okay, let's see. In high school, in 88, I did a speech class instruction of how to role play. I never suffered the stigmatism many Gen Xers talk about. Yeah, I do think, well, it's hard to tell me what it was before, but I do have that feeling of like lots more people are insecure about themselves, and to improve their status, they step on others, they push down to improve their own place in like the high school setting. What is high school? Is that like 14 years old or is that younger?
High school is about that. Yeah, it starts about that.
Okay.
Stigmatism. Yeah, stigmatism is what I have. That's why I wear glasses.
You're
I
not
think
safe
he
if
meant
that joke can track.
stigmatization. But yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I was very nerdy, of course. That's why I'm even here, like, talking about RPGs. But I
Oh,
kept
that's an
mostly to
ocular
myself. So,
condition.
like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. I
No, I was just
interrupted you.
saying, like, I kept mostly to myself, like, and like, with my friends that enjoy the same like nerdy stuff, I would talk about it. But I never suffered any like stigmatization because of
Yeah.
that. But then again, I never like pushed boundaries. Like, we even went back when I was like a teenager and I watched a bunch of anime. I didn't mix things because I knew people would not get it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because just like in the same way you appreciate that somebody shoves their religion down your throat, that you're like, I don't even
Yeah.
know what you're talking about, but you keep bringing it up every time you talk. What if can we just like talk about football or about like, that we all like Tom Cruise or, a movie? Let's be friends first before you try to sell me something.
Mhm.
Because that's like this, I mean, yeah, it's like a mutual respect. See me as a person first before you see me as a potential candidates of you've done your job for your religion,
Yeah.
your cult, your like your hobby. I must recruit at
Yeah.
least one game master.
To keep the line, the
Yes.
lineage.
Yeah.
Um, do you still think you want to go over the comments there in the video?
Oh, I would love to. Yeah. Let's have a look because I
Yeah,
know they
we
got
can
heated.
ignore the ones that are just people like fighting. Yeah, we can ignore the
Oh,
ones
I
that are
feel
not
like
about roleplay and are ad hominem.
wait, that's me. Hold on. What's going on here?
That's us.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful. Let's go back. If it's on YouTube, then I don't really mind. Okay, we got actually this one is nice. Hey, he went through the work to write out what's
Oh,
actually
he
being
did
talked
that.
about.
We should have. We
I
should have.
think this is like an AI stuff, right? Like it actually brings
It's right
out what
here
you
in my
said out
stash.
loud.
Not stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't write
Mm-hmm.
that down. You have the AI fucking scrub the video. It's useful, so that's a good thing. This is the
Yeah.
reason why everything, the whole response chain happened with Crispy. He started and
Yeah.
it went downhill.
Crispy was
Are you
so
interested?
down to earth, so
Yeah,
gentlemanly. He was like very polite, very well spoken, and he launched it at Crispy.
yeah. I would
He
I
felt
would like
offended.
yeah, I feel like this is actually a good one to read to like get the context of.
Because yeah, he summarizes a lot of points.
Do you want to read
Hi,
it
I'm a
like for the?
Fergie guy. I cannot recall that you and I have had any interactions previously. My apologies if I'm misremembering. A point of clarification: we do not advocate for the removal of the GM. You are correct that we are studiously careful as GMs to neither move nor dictate the feelings or thoughts of PCs, absent from a force within the game world. However,
Yeah,
the GM remains essential in our games. The GM introduces obstacles, roleplays, on NPCs, and narrates either PC successes or failures. Perhaps most essential, the GM sets the difficulty of tasks that PCs attempt. I have several actual plays on my channel. All of the games have GMs who are easily identifiable in their role. Yes, we emphasize player control over their character, but we are not trying to remove the role of the GM. With my best regards, Crispy. A gentleman. Class.
He is the
Impersonate.
best of us in a way.
Yeah, exactly.
He can speak normal sentences and use punctuation.
Yeah, exactly.
I will be your seat at the table.
Okay.
Why, yes, you are, Mr. Crispy. And yes, I do recall having had a number of peripheral conversations with you, but more were with one of your associates. So you didn't talk to him. And once again, I fear that you're ignoring what I personally am saying here. Or, sir, is it the position of your faction that your way is the only way to play? Just curious. Like that's the thing like people do on fucking Twitter, on Reddit. Like I'm not saying
Yeah,
it's a thing you do. I'm just curious if like you're murdering people live on the streets, Just curious.
yeah.
Just
Be
tell me.
direct. I don't like this passive,
Yeah,
this fake politeness. Because Crispy was real
yeah,
polite. He is being fake polite here.
yes. Because it sure seems like it. Like it sure seems like you're murdering people on the streets. It's like
Yeah.
I get that. And I'd bet several of my other rare commentators are in your group, which is also to be expected if one goes if one goes by past experiences. But hey, that's okay too. Yeah, I'm gonna finish reading, I guess, before I reply to all of it.
Yeah.
Now, if you're suggesting that there are no game systems being introduced today that more or less does away with the GM role, Dark Age of Man leaps straight away to mind, which I think is great. Games evolve, so does the hobby, and yet, like most hobbies I'm familiar with, some things never change, and that's usually by socially mutual agreements. But then, what do I know? I'm just a moron, no?
Yeah. Took personally, but
Hmm.
okay.
Someone says I should list the who's instead of what's and why's. Tell me how that sort of thing helps. Just wondering. You know, I watch a lot of your videos, least ways. Those I watch a lot of your videos. I don't know what that means. Least ways.
Yeah,
Those
I'm
coming
not
out
really.
under your brand. Least I assume that it's your brand. Once again, I'm just an idiot. What do I know, eh? A list, eh? Wait, okay. Is this uh I think he's actually using like a text to speech where he talks into his phone to post a YouTube comment.
No, I think it's just like a like
Yeah, but like
yeah.
do you actually write it out? It would be
Some people
weird if
do.
you actually
Some
write
people,
like this,
some
but I
people
can
like
see it happen.
if they want to be
Yeah.
expressive, you know,
Okay.
put more emotion into it.
So wait, did Crispy actually say something about the list here? I don't remember that.
No, he did say about like talking about who, but I think some other.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like we empathize the player role of characters, not
Yeah,
trying to remove
I
the
don't
role
even
of the
think
GM.
I don't know if there's much that can be said about what he said. Like he was very like passionate. He did not really talk about RPG or role play. You know.
Yeah. A list, eh?
Um,
Well, there's a YouTube site hosted by a person who is clearly a racist ass. Then there's a group of people who wait, hold on, I'm removing this comment again. A group of people who really seem to get their kicks doxing people who don't view gaming the way they do. Oh, and we'll leave off all the elitism I trade comments with on occasion. People who would never have that person sit at the table because insert your favorite bullshit excuse. I wonder if this is the sort of list that makes the trolls happy. Don't know, because my opinion only matters to exactly. Thank you for commenting, and my apologies.
Yeah.
There was a
Go
couple
ahead.
of things that stood out to me while reading this. It's like the whole, oh man. I mean, I've mentioned, I don't know if I talked about it on the show, but the whole point of like, but what do I know? I'm just a moron. No, it's like the world has
He's
enough
taking off
people that will
this.
kick on you when you're down. You don't have to kick yourself. You can remove that
Okay.
completely
No, I
and
think he's
show
like
yourself a bit of respect. You okay?
Yeah, I just dropped my water bottle. I was gonna say
Okay.
he's talking as if Crispy was insinuating that he's stupid and like, oh, what do I know? I'm just kind of he's playing into that, which I don't think nobody ever. I don't recall anyone calling him any names.
Yeah.
Yeah, Keidolo, like that's a good response. I wonder what that's with. It's not that he really like went ballistic. Like I don't know if
Yeah.
because Crispy tried to be polite, he felt like he was being patronizing. I feel like that's probably what happened there. That's why
I
he's
can
like,
see
oh, what
that.
do I know?
Yeah, if
Because
you think
Crispy speaks
everybody
well.
Yeah, if you think everybody's a two-faced snake, you expect to be bitten, so you respond with hostility, which is
Yeah,
what I read over here.
but
It's not
but
actually
but
addressing
again,
the
I
argument.
don't want to. Just to be clear, I don't want to go into that because that's about him and not his take. Um, if you want
Yeah.
to comment a little bit more, yeah, I just want to make that clear because that's like getting to
Do
drama almost.
yeah. So do you want to finish this or check out the different comment if there's anything in here?
Oh yeah,
Because
let's
I'm
look for
pretty
actual role play. Talking about role play and GMs.
yeah. I mean that comment it personifies our problem of this whole discussion of his video, right? It's
Yeah,
distracting from what we mean about the game master's responsibility, about role playing, about 4D role play, and
yeah.
it's about problems he's having, which is fine. We all have problems. We don't need to indulge in that. I hope. I hope it. It's like
Yeah.
I hope it gets better. I guess, but I live on the other side
Yeah.
of the world. There's nothing here. Would be interesting to see the videos you're referring to.
Okay. Personally, I
Like
started
there,
playing some. Yeah,
yeah,
this because he said like as your associates, and I only see like Somir. I know Somir, Phil, but like
yeah,
this guy, I don't know this guy. Fantasy
yeah.
sci-fi, and he does.
FantasySciFi.com.
Yeah, it sounds like a bot, but wait, how long have you been playing? Serious though, I would be interested to see because he could maybe think that this guy is one of us, one of us. Personally, I started playing at 7, then jamming at 9 after some bad experiences with a terrible auto DM who thought railroading was the only way to do it. So my style really came about as a result of knee-jerk reaction to that bad experience. That meant I wanted everyone at the table really get involved in the game world, from creating the town or city they came from to naming parts of the map. Little did I know it would be called player agency years later. My point is that while I am a few years ahead or behind you, depending on which of your videos is accurate, I had a very different set of experiences to yours, not least of which was that in Australia we had to wait so long for manuals and modules to arrive, so we had to make up our own
Yeah.
stuff,
Shit.
or we would have gone not sweating. Yes, 6 months ago you said 40 years experience and you started at 12. Okay, so maybe he's taking this guy as a troll or one of ours because he's not really agreeing with what he said, but we don't know
Yeah, I
this
mean,
guy.
I like the. It makes sense. You had bad experience with a GM who was railroading you, so like he picked up this terminology to describe when the GM wants to do things his way and you don't get a choice. And That's why he went the other way. Let's involve my players to name locations, name factions, get them involved in the world. I wouldn't call this play agency. That to me, like that is player involvement. But like play agency, when I imagine that, it's to me it's free reign for the players to decide what their characters do, does, thinks, what their character feels, what their actions are, where they are in the world.
Can you click on
And
his reply? I'm curious
yes,
to see what he.
obvious. It's a crying
Oh, it's just.
emoji, like crying, laughing. You know, like
I don't know. Okay.
That's such a. And he liked his own comment, by the way. Because if you're out
guess.
there and you did not grow up on the internet, like me or Nicholas, I guess, you don't
Yeah.
like your own comment with a heart.
It doesn't look.
That's
Yeah. It doesn't. It's like smelling your own fart, even if it's not. That's
yeah.
the.
It's like eating your own booger and saying it tastes nice. Even if it does, you don't tell anybody about that.
Exactly. It's the pony thing. Yeah. Keep it to yourself. Can you read Somir?
Shoner
oh
is
yeah,
sorely
Shoner
missed.
is. I still have him on my Discord history. Like the times with chat is very sad to see like the offline thing. I can't tell you how many times I thought I was a but because they misinterpret what I write. Yeah, people do that. That's an internet thing, man. People like just they read and they don't take time to process what you said.
Yeah, that's the value of a video response.
Can you
now.
click on Somir's? Oh, sorry.
Of course.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, look, I just like Phil's response because he's the funny guy. He's fun.
Oh, yeah, right. Feels abrasive.
Solmir. So for those who don't know, he plays with us, so he's our friend.
Yeah, so he is one of us.
Yes.
Can you read this one?
I can do it. Hi, trying to get the gist of your video at like minute 31. There's a certain advocates out there that would love to get away from the game material. Who are these people? Think it will clear out some misunderstandings. Are you talking about the style of play by the apocalypse, or for the role-playing crowd? There's like play by the apocalypse. That's like this whole
powered by
the apocalypse.
Yeah.
The 2d6 system that's very much standardized, and the way you role play is a lot more fluent and less worried about all of these. It goes away from the D&D style of gameplay. It's someone else entirely. The game we run at home is very much doing away with the game material, and it works great for us. So what? It's how we like it.
It's 7 replies.
Yeah, man, I'm telling you, this went on forever.
And it's how you and your table like it. Then it works for you, no? And to answer your question above, I am stating my opinions and views on all these topics, unless, of course, you are one of those fine people advocating that their way is the only way to play. If so, then you already answered your own question.
I've stated my opinion, but it's not there, so you didn't. So what this answer is here is avoiding the question. Like, am I seeing this wrong now? I'm trying to think here.
Yeah, I am in favor of the 4D.
Oh yeah, Solny's response. I'm in favor of the 4D style and an advocate. Yet nowhere have I heard anybody say it's not okay to play the game as you like, as long as it's what it is. In that style, the GM is very important and always has the last say.
I fail to see the value in doing this, but as I keep saying, it is my opinion. But it would seem I am not entitled to having one. What? Come on, man. Somir did not say anything that suggests you're not entitled.
Can we come up with what would be a reasonable response? Like, what would you write instead?
I don't know what he meant to say, so I can
So
like
Solmir says, right, like, oh, I do 14. I advocate for it. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
it's okay to play the game you like, as long as it's what it is. That style, the GM, is very important. How would you respond to that? Okay, that's cool. I had the impression that you want to get rid of the Game Master. I'm glad that's not the case. I love Game Mastering. It's a great tool. What I guess then I would turn it into the question of like, what are you trying to remove? I don't get the premise. It's I guess
Yeah.
where I would like lean into in the comment section, if anything.
Also, his Somir's next response is interesting. For me, the experience is just more engaging, and I feel it is sad that not more people are playing this style. After all, there are plenty of normal tables to choose from, so the making away with GM seemed odd and inaccurate. Now I realize what you perhaps mean. The GM cannot move player characters at all in the 4D style, and this for some reasons. This for some reason seems like removing a GM to you. Is this correct? Being very polite, very gentlemanly.
Yes, and it's hard sometimes to because you don't want to put people's word into their mouth. So what I do is tell me if this is correct. I'm trying
Yeah,
to interpret what you're saying. Are you
it's a
saying
good
that?
conversation technique.
Yes, exactly.
Debate technique. Okay, I don't know if I want to read all that.
This
It's
is
too
what we
big.
call a wall of text in the
Yeah.
business. Uh, keep saying
Okay,
over
he
the
got a bit angry. Yeah.
I'm a fan of full. Yeah, he's a fan of full immersion play. That was like the last half. We didn't get there, so I can
Okay.
see that maybe some people leave a comment after the first 15 minutes because it took him forever to mention the part that he's a fan of role playing, of like player immersion, player agency,
Mhm.
right? Like in the end, that's what he said, like minute 30 or something. Which in seems I can never quite get the point across. No, yes. I mean, that's a problem when you
We can
ramble.
I can just read like the first few lines of each point. Like one, I'm not a fan of elitist mindsets at a gaming table. That's why I think it's being problem. Two, the only time one
Yeah.
can truly have a fully immersed session is when the players are all serious. All okay. Three, something that I feel that you are not reading, hearing, or understanding from my perspective. I am not saying how you choose to play is wrong. I'm merely saying the general audience at large, and not to you, that I feel that the game masters. Okay, I'm lost.
Yeah, I mean, even in his third point, he's saying that no, it's not you. I don't have a problem that you're trying to remove game masters. I'm just saying that everybody else
Okay.
doesn't want to remove the game master role. It's important, and to suggest to removing them. Oh, he did like a bracket, but he never closed the bracket, so it literally doesn't make sense. And to suggest removing them, and yes, there are groups out there wishing to do this. Is this your group? Pretty sure it's not, but question mark? No, I think it's
Okay,
literally okay.
it's a
I think it's
boogeyman.
literally yeah. It's nobody says that. This is what we call like you're
Yeah.
fighting windmills and you're calling them
And
dragons.
even if they did, like, I don't think it should be a big deal as is making it out to be.
No one is
Yeah,
trying to remove game masters.
yeah. But I
Nobody's
feel
doing
like
that.
that was already covered, so I will not ramble more on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there are like, how about those people who lack imagination or are incredibly insecure about role playing, i.e., pretending to be something that they are not? We asking them to leave too? No, man, like you choose who you want to play with.
Yes.
I'm sure there are people that
Giga
he
Chad.
would not like to
Play the
play
music.
with. Yeah.
Go,
But it's just a
go
matter
ahead.
like you choose the people you want to play with. Like nobody's forcing you to play with someone you don't want to. And if the person is like too shy to with his friends just pretend to be like a little wizard, like
A lot of people don't roleplay
maybe
for that reason. This is a game for
yeah, but
nerds.
like
You guys are all losers. Pretending to be somebody else that you're not is the stupidest thing I've ever like this. This is all comes from insecurity. I don't want to look stupid in front of other people and have to make fun of me. That's all I hear. That's all I hear.
yeah, no, man, you choose who you play with. That's it. That's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
It's your right to choose who you
No
invite home.
stinky people.
No stinky people. I mean, if you do that, I feel like 80% of the tables worldwide will die.
Man,
I'm a
I've
I've read
person. It's just like I can work up a sweat if we are cramped in a room with 6 big people role playing. You best believe I'm taking my Dio with me, and I arrive showered and groomed with a fresh shirt. Sometimes I actually bring a second shirt with me to the location
oh
because I know the journey itself will have me sweat through my
okay.
shirt because it's that much. So this
Yeah,
I'm
man, that's
doing
like people
yeah,
skill.
exactly. You put in the
It's
efforts
just
to accommodate for the people you invite on the table that you play with. You respect their time, and I respect their nose. You do the best you can.
yeah, I don't know, man. He's just like being angry here.
It's like
You know,
this point four of like, it seems like people are having, fun, are enjoying themselves. That's the whole argument of like, yeah, if just want to have fun, the bar is very low. There's not much you have to do to have a good time.
can you highlight Kido's let's go.
Hygiene.
Hygiene.
You're not a real gamer. When I was 9, we didn't have hygiene. I've been running games satellite for 50 years. Oh, nice.
It's a very funny straw man.
If you're a game master that doesn't nurture your players so that they learn to be more engaging in the game, you could do better yourself. Yeah, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Like, entertain the idea, think it through.
And yeah, and that's something like if you talk about the game after with your friends, maybe you don't realize you're doing that. Like they'll be like, yeah, man, maybe we can, they'll let you know stuff you can get better. You just have to not be butthurt about it. That's how you improve.
It's like, in a way, he said in his video, like he was, he didn't have many players, right? Like, it's like in this town out in like nowhere's land,
Mhm.
but nobody's really interested, with no way to get to the game store to play with people. Yeah, that's a problem. And to solve the problem, he accepted to just play with anybody because he really wants to play. And I get
Struggle.
that. Yeah, that is a struggle, but still, it's this. It's the same as it is now. What you do is you go out there, you ask people, "Hey, do you want to play a game?" And then you invite them. You run a one shot. You filter out the people you like from the people you don't like, and you meet again, but this time with the people you liked. And you keep doing this like 10 times. And then in the end, you have like 20 people you really like that you can play regularly role playing games with.
Oh.
And you can change your criteria as you go along. Before, you accepted anyone that could show up on time. The next time, it's anyone that uses, a deal. that showers. They arrived showered. Then you go with, okay, I will accept anyone who's not drunk at the table smashing a 6 can as we play. Because the more you play, the more you go out there, the more choice you have. And you can build this community of, this is what I want my role-playing sessions to be like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, but like he said, maybe, you know, he doesn't. There's only like 5 kids in the whole neighborhood. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah, in which case, yeah, you're kind of screwed there.
Yeah, you know, and it built character. It built your character. So that's it.
Yeah.
Here at the end, though, I want to read like the last few paragraphs. It says, "You know what? That stuff
sorry.
that the GM, you know that stuff that the GM gets left to do, except for some, though not your table. Sorry about shouting, but you know, I'm making sure we're being clear here. Some players lack the vivid imaginations that others may have. Now, with all that said and done, one more thing. Must we all be perfect at the gaming table? Do we? Is that what you and your table are striving for? Well, good for you, but for the rest of us, we are in it to have fun too. Or do you suppose that's a bad thing?" Okay, so he's taken from good old late Schoner's main bullets, you know, the bullets he'd used to shoot at people.
It's all the points.
It's to have fun.
Yeah. So we're just trying to have fun.
I like Somir's. Hey, okay, that's a lot. No, Somir. Oh man, I'm not doing this.
No. He's all the way in there. So we talk about it off stream, okay? We're gonna have a small talk about this one. Like, are you okay? This man, you're like hard locked, you know. You're like locked into combat, and you're not allowed to leave until one of you dies. That's what happened. This is a D&D combat round. It's gonna last for the next 24 hours until somebody reaches 0 hit points. You're literally starving. You're dying of thirst. You have to go to the toilet, but the combat has to finish first before you can leave your seat at the table.
Yeah.
If you see what I did there, Nicholas.
You said it. You said it. He did it, boy. Yeah. You can have fun if you're being serious.
There was another one. We know him. Yakrep is sometimes in the comment section.
Yeah. Yakrep is always in the comment section.
Yeah. I've yet to play with him or like see him play. So, but yeah, he's 4D curious, is what I think. Seem to be confusing play agency with creative control. I'm surprised that you don't understand the difference after. Okay, Yakrep, you're going in. You have the knife drawn, you know.
The scaring combat music. Dun, 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 dun.
It's your opinion. You're welcome to it.
Can you highlight Daryl comment here, the last one in ours? You can if you're overly serious when the situation is absolutely funny. I like the way Tyler puts it. Like, fun is a byproduct of everything else. It's not the product itself of the thing. Because and this is for the jugular, like to me, there are many things that is fun to me to do. Like drawing is fun, but the process, it's not why I draw. It's just that it ends up being fun when I draw, you know. And for me, the role play is the ecstasy of being character and, you know, letting the thing develop is what I'm for. Fun just happens because of it. And like Solar said it in your guys there off your skin, because they use it as a shield. Like, oh, because I said I'm having fun, you cannot criticize what I'm doing. Like, nah, man, you can still talk about it. Is Dark Souls
Yeah.
fun? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I can add to that, but that's the problem. That's why Shoner had such a big thing against the word fun. It's because people use it as a should or as just justification. You cannot
Yeah.
talk about the way I role play for 50 years because I only do it for fun. You know.
Like, don't criticize me for cutting my wrist. For me, that's fun. It's
Yeah.
the only way I can feel anything. It's like, but
Like
brother, that's
let's
still
bring
a
it back to the
problem. Like, it's,
exactly. Let's bring to the kitchen because it's such a good analogy. Like imagine a cook that's been cooking for like 30 years and still like cannot do anything. You know, like all his food is crap.
yeah.
Like you cannot criticize me. I'm just cooking for fun. Like fine, you can do that, but it doesn't change the fact that you still cook like you know a college student. You still burn the rice.
Like, in the end, I will still say, great, but I'm not going to sit down at your kitchen table to eat your food. If, you know, I will sit down at the kitchen table to eat your food if I like you. And I'm here for the social experience, for you, not your food. And I'm eating your food is
Yeah.
something I suffer through to interact with you because I know you have
Because
other
of love.
qualities. Yes, but the kitchen is
Yeah.
not one of them. You're cooking. And you can have
Yeah.
both of these things can be true at the same time. And the fact that, like, yeah, we've all said, I think it's been said by now.
Yeah.
So, all right, is there anything left to really speak about? Because the crime against roleplay, I think the case is closed.
Yeah.
He's guilty,
We
by
should
the way.
make an
20 years
intro
in
and an
prison.
outro with like a file
Yeah.
closing and yeah. We should have like
I don't think it's a file closing. I think
CSI
it's
thing.
like it's a red stamp, convicted.
Oh yeah.
Bam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I should make one. That'd be cool. But yeah, man.
Would be cool.
It's the same story. It's the same story. I'm pretty sure like in 2 weeks we'll have another similar case.
Yeah. Well, I've had an incredible time with the questing beast, Tear Off Your Face. That was I couldn't
Because his
stop
take was
laughing.
nuclear. Yeah.
Yes. It was all of the bad takes summed up in one 10-minute video with an advertisement in it at the beginning. It's like
Yeah.
it went full YouTube brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
man.
like this one. Book 'em.
Book him. Yeah. We should have like a wanted list.
Role players most wanted.
Yeah. Exactly.
Crimes against role play.
Yeah. If you see
Escape
him,
good role
reporting
playing
him to the
scenes
bureau
like
immediately.
12 times. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a list makes combat encounters last for 2 hours in his role playing session.
You know, it'd be fun if we did like a crime, like the felony and like the offense, and then like the punishment for the offense. You know,
Yeah.
every week's without playing a game or
Must roleplay a mute character.
yeah, stuff like that. That would be a fun
Must
side project.
for Mr. Max, I would say like minor offense, antisocial. Didn't show up for dinner.
Exactly.
And what he gets is roleplays a woman next session.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just is that akin to community service?
Yes, the punishment is something that grows you as a character, right? Not it's not punishment to fuck with you. It's to make you grow as a character. Yeah,
could get a guilty stamp. Yeah. You know what? We can actually make one because you can put videos during the. We could have one like, you know. We should try making one. We should try making one. like an OBS
I don't want
overlay
to. It
thing.
sounds
So
like I have to do so much work. Everything.
I can do that. I'll do that when my new computer arrives. I'll make a.
Yeah. Or maybe somebody's done it. It's on the internet, and you can show me. Oh, he's done it. This is the
Yeah,
5 minutes
a
video.
green screen, red stamp, beauty. You can probably
Yeah.
find one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, can probably just get one
But-
free for sure.
Uh,
Let's talk about Vason. Are we gonna play still?
oh yeah. Chroma key is what you're looking for. Yeah. But yeah, so Vason, I still want to play the game, but schedule. Such a
All right.
that's the final boss of everything.
Bane of
No,
the role-playing existence.
But I'm still like hype, still hot for it, and I still want to run more
Yeah.
games as well. Like, I want to
Yeah,
do games, man.
Yeah, I'm in this position of wait, hold on, where do I have this? Not this one. Do I have a cool? There we go.
The jungle.
Yeah, I'm still ready to show up. With not you, Gwyneth, go away. No, I'm still ready to
There
do
you
the
go.
whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Where's
someone
it
put
her?
in
Yeah,
put
there
in
we
the
go.
work. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's the one. Let's close it down. Yeah, I got the character ready and everything, and it's animated. This
Yeah.
is like, if you guys are still watching
PNG.
after 3 hours, you get to see what I've cooked up.
Yeah, man. Bro cooked.
Yes, I did. Henrietta, she needs to show on screen.
Very cool. Very dope.
I'm very, very
Yeah.
excited. I'm really leaning
You know,
out of my window with the character
It's interesting
concept.
because it's going to be a Vason. This one here. It's a free league game.
Yeah.
Because the game's going to be a mystery game, right? But I still want to make it 4D, which means you guys can co-create. So that's going to be a challenge for me. It's going to be interesting to game that aspect of having something in the back of my mind, but at the same time allowing you guys to, intervene and co-create. I think it's going to be very interesting, the end result, because it's going to be very chaotic. So it's going to be a mystery for everyone until the end.
Yeah,
or maybe
absolutely.
I don't know. Maybe you guys do something, and the first 10 minutes, all hell breaks loose, which again is going to be awesome if that's the case. So I'm interested to see that, because you have like interesting characters, and I don't know how they will all interact.
Yeah, we are leading out of the window, trying a new role-playing system that is designed as like we made a video about it. It's on our channels, talking about Vason RPG. The design is very much Monster of the Week. It has you can have your own base of operations that you can expand, and the adventure or session every time is about one of those supernatural creatures somehow mingling with whatever the players are up to, and you're trying to like stop it, put an end to it, like solve it, or obviously kill it. Is also that's the most straightforward option.
We are breaking the mold a little with the intended flow of a session, I feel like.
Yeah.
But that's what we do.
We take your role-playing games and abuse it until we like it.
Yeah. Exactly. We mold it to our liking. I wanna run a DIA game for you guys as well.
Yeah.
It's such a cool setting.
I love it. I'm
I wanna
ready
do
to
it.
play another
I wanna go
session.
back.
We have to go back.
Yeah. If all cannot show up, we can homebrew me, daddy. Yeah, it's my dungeon. It's our the dungeon. Also, DIA.
Daryl Errett
It's a game
asked,
we
"What is
played.
DIA?"
Yeah. So it says, did we do a session 0 was not broadcasted, right? No, it wasn't. It was. So it's a game we played. We came up with a setting. So it's basically like early 2000s, basically a CIA, but they deal with extra dimensional threats. So we're playing like this Man in Black, but with extra dimensional stuff happening. We have only one session in our channels, but we look very fondly to that session. It was like 100% 4D. So it's such a
It was the
vibe.
best of
I still
us.
like it so much. Yeah. It's like one of those sessions that you have in your heart. That's DIA for me. We got really
That
into it. It was really
reminds
fun.
me.
And the
Yeah,
GM, first time like running a game,
Actually, I have to steal the
Right.
DIA session from your YouTube channel, upload it onto mine, because I've never uploaded it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine has the intro and everything. So
Yeah,
so if you
absolutely.
wanna run another game of that would be cool.
Yeah,
That's
we
why I
got
like
it right
Session Zero
here.
so much. You like come up with, you and your group come up with a session with a world that's like, man, I really want to play in that world. Look at me, man. I was letting my hair grow at the time, but then I went back on it. I should let it grow again.
I like it. I like it either way.
Yeah.
It's well groomed. Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
fantastic. So check out Nicholas' YouTube channel. It's a bit hard to find sometimes, so
Yeah.
I will post a link.
It's
Etera
at Etera RPG. Yeah.
All right, and with that, I think we said it all. That's
It was a very. There you go.
yeah, it was a long stream.
Very good stuff.
We took another. What was
3
it? 3 hours
hours
now?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sounds a
Long
little like
time.
Delta Green thing. Yeah, I want to check Delta Green because it kind of, I know of it. I never really played it, but it ended up being something like that.
Yeah.
The dealing with a threat higher and your disorganization. Because another thing I liked, because it's 3 hours, but it's like a full movie from beginning to end. Like it closes itself very well. I think it was like we had a lot of happy mistakes, like the way things, because it's very chaotic by nature, RPGs, right? But this one, it kind of flowed very well.
Yeah, it flowed.
I'm really happy with it.
Let's play the trailer for the chat, and we can end the stream with that. I think I don't have like the paid version.
Okay, yeah.
But I can. Wait, which one is it?
No, you can just. I mean,
What? Hello?
You can go to your channel and show the trailer. I don't have the trailer. It's only on yours. The trailer was very cool. You need to go on your channel, man. Oh, okay. You are on your.
Guys, enjoy the trailer with us. And okay, I don't know if they can probably still hear us, but enjoy the trailer, and after that we will close the stream. So here is I've sat down for like 6 hours to make this. This was very fun, and I hope you like it as much as I do.
Yeah.
Garish bright bathroom stalls, on my knees, wretched over toilet bowl, puking my guts out like dry heaving.
we've been at this dimensional crisis for a while. Of course, we don't tell the public that it's a crisis, but it's something that it's thankless work, and it's work that we always have to keep in the shadows at all times. Of course, today you're going to be finally be given your first assignment.
After a while, there's different song playing now. The shirt is completely open now. My hair is a bit messy.
Sitting behind the wheel now, one hand on the wheel on this long stretched out road, the other hand with a new cigarillo hanging out the window.
The screen door opens. Hello?
Oh, hello
Who's
there.
this?
Good evening. I pull up my identification, the fake FBI one. I'm Agent Bruce Halligan, and this is my partner, Agent Webb. I look at Mr. Hayes, reassuring him of what Webb said. Timmy would feel more comfortable. We don't need to be far. We can be in the kitchen.
Okay, all right.
I hold my ruby necklace that is underneath my vest. I know that it might look this way, but people have feelings too.
You tackling on top of him. He begins to struggle. And he's like, get off of me, he says.
Sir,
struggle.
You are under communist mind control. Please, hear me out. I kind of hesitate. I could shoot the child's leg.
Do it. I holster my gun, and you see the cave illuminated by a lighter and the end of a cigarillo as it lights up my lips, taking a deep draft. That's it. Oh, man. Okay, I still
Yeah.
get chills. I still get fucking chills. So awesome.
Such a good session. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
3 hours condensed,
Yes.
in 3 minutes. Just some points. A really good trailer.
And I didn't upload it on my YouTube. Why did I not? I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this tonight.
Do it,
I will,
man.
I will
Yeah.
find.
It's a re-release. It's like the Morbius.
Yes.
We'll watch it this time.
Yeah, anniversary edition.
Defense Intelligence
Intelligence.
Agency.
Okay.
Okay. Like Alberto is
Nice.
from US. He cooked up this name. So
We blame it on the game master. Is what we do over here.
yeah,
Talk
we don't
about
know
game
him.
master responsibilities.
It's funny because like he's like we're playing in the US and neither of us ever
No,
been
we have
there.
no clue.
Yeah,
All I know are movies.
exactly. Just go based off the movies. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the magic.
I could shoot the child.
the
Do it.
Good. That's such a nice. Do it. No hesitation whatsoever.
I did. I mean, technically, I had a pause, but I needed to respond
Yeah.
before you say something else. yeah, it's like sometimes when you pause, you like the other players like, oh, maybe it's my turn. I should say something again. But I love the part of like, no, we definitely should. The viewers
Yeah.
can figure out. They can watch the show for the context.
Yeah, why? Makes
Why
sense.
would you
I'm
choose?
not a psychopath. Neither of us are psychopaths.
Because it's a role-playing game, we get away with shooting children.
Yeah, it's not Skyrim, man. Not Skyrim.
No. Yes. Better than Skyrim. That's the promotional material for the Dimensional
You see that?
Intelligence
You
Agency.
see that mountain? You can climb it. You know.
Yeah.
You see that child? You can shoot it.
You can shoot.
That should have been Cyberpunk's marketing. Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
I'm bad with ending the show. You think we're ready to end it? Last words, Nicholas.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. It's good to clarify, solve another case. Another
Yes.
case solved. Feels good that justice is being served. And thank you for people who joined us.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been fun to have some people commenting. We don't get that
Dado and
luxury,
Daryl.
unlike Mr. Max. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah,
All
thank
right.
you. That's all I have to say.
Good night.